right. 5, 4, 3. Oh, we're live, Jamie? Oh, we're live. Yeah, we're live. So yeah.
What up, internet?
Not much. And yeah, for you guys, we were just talking about this, and you nerds will like this, the ones that are not watching right now, but newest edition. The decal is fake, so I scraped it off. I'm gonna actually have to restore this. This was originally a Luftwaffe helmet, right? And somebody repainted it. The paint's not bad at all, actually. It's just not textured.
Right.
But the liner is, but it's an original band, so yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yep.
Well, the reason why we were talking, should we just pull up that photo and see what everyone
Not
thinks?
yet, not yet. Let's wait until people are watching.
Okay.
Got 10 really lonely people right now watching. And I get that.
Yeah, that's why we started doing this, because we're that's what we are.
Oh boy, it's a Friday night. I don't know what to do.
Let's do it. Could go out and chase some tail, or I could sit here on.
Like Dave's already trolling, of course. He's already in here on the comments.
Oh yeah, David Wagner. Very nice.
Yeah, it's funny because like now you can actually say you met Dave. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like Devin knew Dave, and then it was kind of like this secret, like, who the fuck is this guy? And then now you know him, and then it's like
snowballs from there. That's how like all of these people have come together, you know.
Yep. But shit, well, it's actually increasing quite a bit in viewership. That's fun. Pamela Henderson, I like that. I like that a lot. Henderson.
Where's that name?
He said in the comments, he goes, never lonely with old Pamela Henderson, lefty loosey and righty tighty. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. If we had, oh God, Brian knows a lot of people because he lives in Connecticut. He knows a lot of people from the city, right? They talk that he's like, yeah, it gets annoying, but like they do have really good food, and I'm like, well, okay, that I guess that makes up for it. And
that's like everywhere you go in the world, you know, there's annoying people, but there's always
right, and like
a form of good food.
Right, and like Brian was saying that, you know, he can't do gluten either. Like he gets a violent reaction from it, like I do. And he's like, dude, in New York, they're like the fucking capital for that shit. He's like, when you guys come out here, I will take you to the best gluten-free pizza places possible.
All right.
And I'm like, well, that's enticing. That's enticing. That actually is. You know, New York style pizza is really good.
Oh yeah, flat crust. Oh yeah, that real thin crust.
But it's flat and puffy and it's fucking it's good stuff. It's not thin crust. It's just like good. I think that's gold standard for what pizza should be. And then you've got Chicago deep dish, which is weird, but it's also delicious. I've had it before. I've been to Chicago, and it's like I ordered 2 slices, and the guy's like, "Okay, how about this? You order 1 slice now, you pay for it, and if you can handle 2 slices, the second one's on the house." I said, okay. So I got through the 1 slice, and then I was fucking done.
That was it.
Yep. And so he was right. Because I'm like, 2 slices. He looks at me funny. He's like, 2 slices for yourself? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, no, that shit's rich. It's not what I would call pizza, but it was delicious. It was good, you know? But it was literally like, they call it a pizza pie, right? That was a pie.
It was like a legit pie.
Pepperoni, mozzarella, fucking sauce, fucking crust. And it was like very thick and very filling.
Nice.
But yeah, 1 slice was like, at that point, that was back in like 2000. Christ, that was like 2003. And it was like $4 or $5 for a slice. Which is whatever, but like it was good.
I love me some pizza when I can get good pizza. It's
good pizza. Yeah, because the rest of it's like, it's all right.
It's all right. I'll still eat it, but it's like
yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, pizza. You'd have to really fuck a pizza up for us to not eat it, right?
That's true, and it's happened to me a handful of times in my life.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
where it's like, man, you guys, I'm not gonna eat this fucking thing.
Right.
Hey, Devin K is in the comments. Why isn't Devin coming on?
He's at a hotel with shitty internet. That's why.
Right.
I messaged him earlier. I'm like, hey, I know you work tomorrow, but like, what do you think? He's like, oh, I'm at a hotel, the shitty internet. And so it sucks, but he'll be back soon, people. He'll be back soon. But it was funny because one of the first comments was, woohoo, no Devin. So slimy Murican. Yeah,
brutal.
Devin, you can spar with him in the chat. But yeah, also, yeah, it's I'm just looking at the comment that he put. Some pizza sauce is really sweet, so adding pineapple sounds like more like a dessert. Yes, that's very true with pizza. If you make your pizza sauce that's a little bit sweeter than tomatoes, but still has, it's mostly like savory and not, sweet. Then you could put anything on that fucking thing. What? Yeah, because here's the thing too. Yeah, we were talking about like some things can ruin a pizza. Super sweet tomato sauce, not good on a pizza. Not good. Because then you ruin all the toppings. And it's like, no, put a savory but not like overpowering sauce on there.
Well, also sometimes, I mean, like I'm the type of person, me anyway, like too much sauce is going to ruin the thing. And
there is a very fine line.
Yes. And sometimes it's like, nope, I feel like I'm drinking this fucking thing. I'm not gonna.
Well, right. And that's the thing is like I like sauce a lot, but like there are some places that I've had pizza and it's like, dude, I love sauce, but when I'm eating the slice and the toppings are falling off because they're sliding,
it's sliding
from side to side, it's not good.
No, it's, you don't want an ocean of underneath. You don't want a reservoir underneath there.
No, and it's like that's too much. And also, if you put too much sauce on it, fucks over. You have to have the balance between the sauce, the cheese, and the toppings. You really do. Like the cheese can't be too thick either, because that's another thing that, or too thin.
Yeah,
the cheese
too thick, you get rubber. Yeah,
right, and then too thin, you don't get that salt and like that texture.
It's like it's not even there.
And so, right, the cheese provides the salt and the texture. The sauce provides the acidity of the whole thing, and then toppings. Like you should be able to, with an ideal sauce, in my opinion, as a fat ass, be able to put pineapple on there, and it's not going to be too sweet. You should also be able to have a supreme where you have fucking pepperoni, sausage, green peppers, onions, and whatever, and just like anything you want. The sauce should be universal. The cheese amount, unless you request otherwise, right? Unless you request otherwise, the cheese amount should be universal, of like providing the salt and the texture, not taking away or adding too much to anything. And then you have the toppings, which again, and that's kind of why I like customized pizzas. But it's like when you go to a pizza place, a good pizza place, they'll have all that shit figured out already,
right?
They'll have it. You just go, hey, I want a whatever inch Hawaiian, and they're like, okay, coming up. Right. And they make that fucker, and you get it, and it's like you consume it, and you're like, well, yes, they have everything fucking proportioned correctly. And it's like, okay, that's fantastic. It's amazing.
Yeah. Some other places, though, it's like an assembly line, and it's
right. And but it's also like, even if it's an assembly line, unless somebody asks like, less sauce or fucking more of this, whatever, it should be a formula that's like consistent and like it's the same thing every time. And like again, like I was just saying, I hate to repeat myself, but for those of you who are possibly thinking about possibly someday going into the pizza business, the sauce and the cheese, that's your foundation. The crust, yes. Okay, so let's go into that. The dough, yes. Also part of the foundation. A pizza consists of, in my opinion, minimally the crust, the sauce, and the cheese. Okay?
Of course, yeah.
That's a minimal pizza. And I love cheese pizza. Don't get me wrong.
That's my favorite kind is cheese.
Right. Exactly. But it also has to be done right in the right ratios, right? And so, yeah, okay, that's the minimum for pizza. Now, when you're talking about toppings, your pizza should have all the right ratios to be able to put toppings on there. And it doesn't take anything away from the toppings. It doesn't take anything away from the crust or the sauce, or whatever. And that is the key. Is it not?
No, it is, obviously, because I mean, otherwise, I mean, the thing is, like with like Mediterranean food and stuff, it is like too much of it is going to just cause a fucking catastrophe in your stomach. Whatever it may be. So it's like too much sauce, catastrophe; too much dough, catastrophe; too much cheese. It's like it's a fine balancing act when it comes to all that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
And yeah, that's the thing is like, and that's the thing is like, okay, so Mac Reeland, vegetables. Yes, vegetables on pizza add flavor. They don't necessarily add or take away from that baseline that I just said. They're good. Peppers, onions, tomatoes, roasted red peppers, mushrooms, which I fucking hate. But like, you know what I mean? Like they don't add or take away. The meat combined with the sauce and the cheese and the dough, that's your big thing. Right. And if you can't get that right, what the fuck? What are we talking about? I'm just gonna. It's not good.
No. I had one time. Oh my god, what was it? Yeah, someone delivered I had a pizza delivered to us, and they forgot to put the sauce in it.
So you have cheese bread with toppings.
It was basically just a giant piece of cheese bread, and it was like, what the fuck? But I mean, we still like picked at it. It was still edible to a degree,
Right. but the sauce is an integral part of an actual pizza. Right. If you want to get cheese bread, then you order cheese bread, and that's the thing. They fucked up on that.
They absolutely did. We called them up and told them that, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we'll send you another one for free." And,
it's just like you got your fucking crust or your dough, your sauce, whether it be white or red, usually red, but like whatever your sauce is, the ratio has to be perfect. And then the cheese is that's the thing is like a lot of pizza places fuck up the cheese because they just use processed, shitty, like long shelf life cheese. No. You have to use very fresh mozzarella. You have to use it. You have to use very fresh mozzarella where it's like you have to break it apart with your fucking hands to get it on there. That's the baseline for cheese. If you want to be a hipster and like put in cheddar and Colby and Gruyere, whatever you want to put on, it has to be balanced and it has to melt correctly and form a semi-crust. Here's the thing is like, so the cheese on the top and the crust on the bottom forms, they're both crusts, right?
Right.
They have to have that sauce in there. Whatever sauce you choose has to be perfectly embedded in between those two crusts.
Right.
Or it's fucked. And like, it is. It's like, you know what I mean? The toppings, they can melt into the top crust. That's fine. Whatever you want, peppers, mushrooms, onions, sausage, pepperoni. But also the meats, that's the thing is like a lot of people get that wrong, is meats are very salty. Italian sausage, very salty. Pepperoni, very salty. Canadian bacon, very salty. Even regular hamburger, if you put it on there, it's going to absorb the salt and be salty. So that's the thing you have to worry about. The vegetables, well, they'll absorb some of that, but they'll just kind of have their own flavors. And that's why I was saying, like, to respond to that comment earlier is like, so yeah, it's, I don't know, it's weird with pizza, but like, there's a way to do it and there's a way to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And they're pretty obvious.
I like my cheese, and that's good enough for me.
Oh, dude, honest to God, if I go to a place and I'm like, I don't know if they can make a pizza, I order cheese pizza. That's the baseline to judge them. It's like, can you just make a fucking cheese pizza?
Yeah, fucking
make it good,
plain as can be.
Right.
Oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. What happened?
Someone said here, my local pizza place has the slimiest dough ever. Oof.
Nope.
Yeah, that is
Nope.
that never going there.
Yeah, not good. It's you can't do that. It has to be the consistency of puff pastry, but not puff pastry. So it has to be crispy on the bottom. Not like burn crispy, but like crispy and golden on the bottom and golden on the top where the crust is exposed.
Yeah, a fucking crust. Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
If it's anything more or less, well, we're gonna have some issues. But slimy crust, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like,
yeah, who the fuck would ever want to eat this?
Yeah, no, we're done at this point. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
And me as a here's the cool thing about being a fat ass. If I go in there and give feedback, they'll probably listen.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'll buy a lot of your fucking pizza
if it's fucking good. Yeah.
If it's good and it's made right. And yeah, so it's like, I mean, pizza. It seems it's really weird that a lot of pizza places cannot just do the simple. They can't even make a cheese pizza. It's like raw on the top and like burn on the bottom. It's like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Who the fuck would eat this?
And then the sauce, like, that's a big thing with pizza places. Like, the sauce, dude. Don't just use canned fucking sauce. Make your own.
Yeah.
It's not as expensive. Sauce. Sure, you have to pay an extra hour for labor for them to mix the sauce together and put actual basil and fucking oregano and salt and pepper. And if you're really fancy, put some thyme in there,
Yeah. Yep.
The spice, not like the actual.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like,
TYME.
Yeah. TYME. And then make it very thick, but not too thick. So when you bake it, it complements and it's sealed in between the crusts. It's amazing.
Yeah, so absolutely. I was gonna say something about fucking pizza. Don't remember. We could talk all day about pizza. Oh yeah. What was that? What was the pizza that we had when Devin and I were there? What was that?
Oh, some pizzeria. That was a local joint, and theirs can get greasy if you add a bunch of shit under there, like we did. But their crust is good. Their crust game is good, and their sauce game is amazing.
That's what I remember about it. Yeah,
the sauce, because they actually make their pizza sauce. Like they do their spaghetti sauce and other pasta sauce. They simmer it for a long time. It's thick, but it's not too thick. And they also put red wine in there. They reduce red wine in there, so it gives it like kind of sweet flavor, but it's not overly sweet. It's kind of got that like bite to it, And that's the thing is they've been doing it for fucking decades, and the sauce is good. Their cheese is really good too. It's just when you put a lot of toppings on there, it gets greasy,
right?
And they have not. Well, I don't know if it's their problem or people's problems, but like if you put too many meats on there, it's gonna get greasy.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I got the cheese when I was there, and
right.
So it was perfect. But
yeah, it's really good, and that's the thing. Yeah.
Good shit. Good shit all around. Yeah, Devin said, yeah, that was good. Good red wine pizza or good red wine sauce.
Yeah, and that's what they do on their pasta, and their pizza sauce is decent. So
someone says, Mike, are you in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm all over. How about that? I'm just whatever.
Did you know the internet has no location?
Right. Oh yeah. Devin got anchovies, and I tried one. That's probably why I got sick. But like, dude, I got fucked up that next morning.
I remember that you were so sick you couldn't go to breakfast with us.
Yeah, dude, I was like, again. That's the thing with the gluten thing is like. It's like even if I have a little bit, it just fucks my system up. Like my whole body is like, well, this is an allergen, and you're gonna pay for this dearly. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like it's not like 5 days long, but it's like a good 1 or 2 days where it's just like,
right, yeah.
Oh man, that was rough. And but anyway, no, the anchovies that I had were good. They were salty, but not too salty. And like, yeah.
So. Never had one of those before.
Yeah, but I think you tried one, right?
I think so. I don't remember, honestly.
I think you tried one of Devin's like anchovies, and I think you were like, "Yeah, it's not bad, but I wouldn't get it on a pizza." I think remember.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
because they're kind of salt. They're like really small fish, and
right.
like they're really salty, but like those were not that bad. And yeah, because that was fun. And then the salads, dude. The salads at the local joint that we got the pizza from.
Yeah, we got salads. Yeah, they were good. I forgot about that.
Dude, they're fucking so good. Like they're not like the normal like pizza place where it's like, let's just chop a fucking head of iceberg lettuce in eighths and then serve it out to them. Like, it's like, no, it's actual lettuce with good dressing. They actually make their dressing in house, from scratch, and that shit is so good. But yeah, that pizza it got greasy the longer you let it sit because of the meats and the whatever. But like their game is pretty good.
Yeah, no.
But then when we go to the New England area and Brian shows us around, we'll go to some good joints.
Yeah,
and
we'll have.
And here's the thing: is like
standards.
Right. Any city is going to be really good with food and like whatever, because they have to be. But I'm impressed for like out, because you've seen where I live. It's like we're out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, it's a long shot if you got a good place, you know.
Right, and that we have the we didn't go there when you were there, but like Devin and I have gone to the Mexican place we have, and we have food from there. It's not bad. Like we're out in the middle of fucking nowhere in outside of a very small town, and then the food is not bad. It's pretty good. So
good shit.
But yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, I just looked up on Google Images fucked pizza and pulled up a bunch of not safe for work images, but then I also pulled up a bunch of images of horrible looking pizzas. There's one on here that has
slimy.
Yeah, there's one on here that has like M&Ms on it.
What?
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my God, Lay's potato chips. Yeah.
If you could do it right, do it. Like, there's a place like a David message earlier in chat about this place, Brickfire Pizza, near us. They used to be in Dresser, where Domino's is now, and they have a pizza that is called the bacon cheeseburger pizza, right? And it was literally like, good crust, good sauce, good cheese, and they put hamburger on there, like seasoned hamburger, bacon, onions, and pickles on there, right? I love pickles, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you know. But like, but what they do is like in the middle of the pizza, they put a shitload of French fries on there after they baked it, and then they would coat the whole thing in ketchup and mustard.
Ugh.
No, it was fucking amazing. Because
really?
when you actually get a slice of the pizza, it tastes like you were eating a bacon cheeseburger, right?
Okay.
Because the flavors were all like that good. The fries you pick off and you eat them separate. You could also eat them with slices of pizza, but like, it was so fucking good. There's so many of those that I killed back in the day. I killed so many of those fucking things by myself.
That's why you're fucked up inside.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, well, you should be eating this. My body's like, well, we'll deal with it. It's like, oh. And then once I find out,
you want to let me share this page and we can look at these fucked pizzas. All right.
Absolutely.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, fuck. That's just soup. That's chicken Alfredo pizza. I know that. I can see that. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just like fucking overload on the cheese, and it's overflowed.
Oh no, it's overloaded on the sauce, dude. Because like, well, and yeah, you're right. Both. It's both, because that's a chicken Alfredo pizza, which I love. They're fucking delicious. They're amazing. But it's like, what are you doing?
And they thought this was okay. Look at the top of the box here. You can see where it's like, oh, it's from Pizza Hut, apparently. You can see the Pizza Hut logo there.
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck?
I haven't had Pizza Hut in probably over a decade.
Oh man, dude, when we were kids, like in the 90s and shit.
Oh, that was the shit. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was like every fucking chance. And they always had the Pizza Hut Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, so I would go in there and like my parents would send me in, you know, they'd drive up if we didn't get it delivered. And they'd be like, yeah, go in and get our pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And then I'd be like, can I get 2 bean and cheese burritos to go as well, really quick? And then there'd be like some stoner fucking teenager working in there.
Right.
All right, man. Okay. And they're like, what took you so long? And I was like, oh, well, the pizza wasn't done yet. And I had 2 burritos that I'd pocket, you know, I'd just throw them in there.
You hit them.
Pay for them with my parents' shit. And then, yeah, I'd eat the pizza. And we got home, and then I had fucking burritos.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this one's called Go Away Broccoli. No one wants you here.
That's not a pizza. That's a fucking abomination. That's not even a fucking pizza.
Yeah.
Who the fuck?
It looks like mold.
Who would? Oh my god. I'm sure it's a vegan pizza. I'm sure it's
Probably
good to go.
Yeah.
As far as that. So
get Maxwell in here for that one.
Yeah, Max, we love you, buddy. But yeah.
It says, what kind of monster cuts their pizza into squares?
Well, okay. Let's address this issue right the fuck now, because there's a huge debate about this.
Mm-hmm.
When a pizza becomes too large to cut into slices, the typical triangular slices.
Yeah.
I'm for squares. Okay. This, however, does not look like it was big enough to be cut into squares.
No, it's just random, just taken across like that. Well, it's fun. When I was a kid, there was this pizza place called Bigfoot Pizza, and they
off to a good start.
Their whole thing was that they made like rectangle shaped pizzas, and they would slice them into squares. So seems to make sense from that angle.
Yeah, they did it because it's bigger and it goes through the pizza oven perfectly. Like that's the thing is like these guys use a pizza oven where it's like it's on a conveyor belt and it goes through and it cooks like at a slow speed. Our local pizza joint when I was growing up, that was not this one. Like when we wanted just cheap pizza, we would get the party pizza, and it was a rectangular pizza. It was like 2 feet by 1.5 feet, right? Or whatever the fuck their maximum thing was. And it was good. It was good. It was disgusting. Like whenever we played like we would play Pirates, just like this little table game where you have these little ships and like you have to measure out your shots. It's like a bunch of fat asses. We're playing this game on a pool table down in a basement. We would order 2 of these party pizzas, and it was amazing. And they were always square cut. And it's like, that makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Because they're fucking huge, yeah.
But going back further is we had this, well, we still have this chain around here. It's not near me anymore, called Pizza Man, right? Really good pizza, honest to God, like really good. Salty, disgusting, good crust, but just like the good salty pizza that you have when you're having a LAN party, right?
Right.
And dude, and what was funny is like they would on this size pizza, they would cut it into squares. All of them would be cut into squares. But when we ordered from Pizza Man, we knew that it was to be cut in squares. When you order from a pizza joint, a regular size pizza, and they get you like this, it's disappointing.
Right.
It's like,
just like what the fuck?
That could be cut into wedges easily. And you failed that.
Failed miserably.
So yeah, but that one, like, what kind of monster cuts your pizza into squares? You obviously need to get the fuck out more. Call it 7.
I've seen it before. Call it, yeah. It's called what did we say about salad? Okay.
Just scroll past. I can't even do this. Scroll past that. That's not even pizza.
Okay, what do you got? Real cheese. That is it.
He put that on there to make a fucking scene.
Yeah.
Must have. Wait a second. Go up. He had to. No. For number 9, the American one. He had to have put American slices on there and just had them melted because they're not fully melted. They're not actually cooked onto there.
Yeah, they're just like fucking cheese squares.
Yeah, somebody's trying to make a meme on Reddit or 4chan and become famous.
All right. And when I said just ham, you weren't meant to take it literally. And it looks like bread with.
Yeah, but that's a stuffed pizza.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It has to be. Like, look at how it's puffed up.
Right.
Unless they're making their crust that thick, which like I would shut them down immediately.
Yeah.
But like what the? Well, so okay. If it's a stuffed pizza, fine. If it's, which some people will be like, oh, it's a calzone. Well, no, too big to be a calzone. If that's literally just the crust and just ham,
yeah,
I would sue. I'd go to court for that fucker.
Like, why the fuck would anyone ever?
Yeah, that's an abomination. But I think it's stuffed. I think, honest to God, if you view the bulges, I think there's sauce and cheese in that crust, and there's ham on top.
It looks pretty thick.
Not ideal, but fine.
Yeah. Okay, this one just says, get this fusion shit out of my face.
Yeah, no, we're done. Move on to the next one. That's who the fuck? Somebody at home did that to make a fucking picture on Reddit. Okay,
yeah. What the fuck am I looking at here? This is what passes for pizza in high school. You'd expect better in prison.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's like a hot apple crisp looking pizza.
Yeah.
Slice. But it's like our pizzas at least were rectangular.
Right.
And also about the same quality, but like, hey, guess what? Back in my day, we didn't bitch about that. Pizza day was good day.
I like the little tray of carrots right here.
The little tray of carrots, and then the milk or the sour cream there.
The sour cream, yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is, yeah.
Oof. And the fucking 90s classroom table right here. Yeah, that's great.
Well, yeah, for more wealthy school districts, we had those.
Whoa, that's interesting. Hipsters have done some good things for food culture. Oblong pizzas with shitty toppings and no cheese served on a plank of wood is not one of them.
Okay, so you got a vegan pizza at a hipster place. Does not look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna concede with him. It does not look bad. Some cheese would be nice. You ordered you got it at a hipster place. You ordered vegan pizza with fries, which those fries actually look really good.
Yeah.
So you're bitching about no cheese? Did you request cheese? They have vegan cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this guy. Fuck what a GM simp PE.
Yeah, this looks like a fancy establishment. Look at all this shit over here.
That's what I mean. Like, that does not look bad to me at all, except the mushrooms. I hate mushrooms, but like, I mean, what the fuck is this clown bitching about? Like, fuck him.
I'll take the fries, even if they are crinkle cut, which I don't think they are.
No, they're not crinkle cut. That's the thing, is they're straight cut fries. Like, you can see it there. They look delicious.
Hell yeah. What is this over here though? Is that oil or what? What is that? I don't know.
Oh, that's probably vinegar. Oh, it's probably vinegar.
Okay.
Like malt vinegar, which is fine.
I can dig it. Sorry, man. The pizza guy puked on your order, it says, and this is what happened.
Oh, see that I would bitch about that. I would actually, and I never bitch about food or whatever. Yeah, I would bitch about that. That's not good.
That looks like fucking like Kraft macaroni and cheese dumped on it or something.
It's like quiche with Down syndrome is what that is.
Yeah, with chunks of square bacon or something.
Yeah, that's no. If I ordered a pizza and I got that, I'd be like, okay, first of all, did you even try? Like, let's just, you don't have to answer anything. Did you even try? Second of all, if you did try, what in the whole chicken fried fuck would make you think that this would qualify as a fucking pizza?
Who the fuck would ever? Yeah, I mean, maybe prisoners in a prison, but you know,
that looks, honestly, God, it looks to me like some guys got really fucking drunk and then probably really high. You know, okay, we get trashed, then we smoke a fucking bowl, so we're completely out of our fucking gourds at this point. And let's try to make a pizza. And then somebody snapped a picture of that, like, oh, it got delivered to us. No, that's like a home baked disaster, is what that is.
It's pretty amazing. Let's see here. Onion rings, check. Weird green shit, check. Served on a giant rich tea biscuit, check. Oof.
That's California. I guarantee that's California.
Yeah, it looks like fucking assholes on a pizza,
dude.
Like,
if you wanted to put, which people do, and I appreciate it, if you want to put onion rings on a pizza with kale and arugula and all that shit, and then forgo the cheese if you have good sauce, that's fine. This is not how to present it, though.
Right. Oof. I mean, the colors. Oh
yeah, and it just looks like just fucking looks like something you find in the deep sea.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, ooh, this is fun, but I wouldn't want to put it on my fucking body.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it. This one says nothing wrong with olives and peppers on a pizza, but not like this. Not like this. That looks like a fucking cake.
Oh, so no, okay, that is a fucking a wannabe. Here, okay, this is a pizzeria that wants to be very ornate and delicate and very what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do that, but if somebody's ordering, the cheese is way overdone, the sauce is way overdone. You can tell immediately right there.
Yeah, it looks like icing.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. That's too much cheese.
Mm.
Okay, you can arrange chili peppers like that, or just red peppers. These are just red peppers and olives like that. But if somebody orders a fucking pizza with red peppers and olives, that needs to be sporadic, and there needs to be a lot more of them. So maybe another round, another ring in the middle of green olives. I would actually not be pissed off at that. I'd be pissed off at the presentation and the crust and the soupiness of the whole fucking pizza.
The soupiness. Yes.
Yeah, it's just a pizza should not be soupy. It's not good. Like
I know.
It's fucking gross. But if they would have put another, and also cut the peppers in quarters, not in halves. That okay, maybe the ones around the crust, cut them in halves, cut them in quarters, and arrange them delicately. And I'm sure they fucking chopped up, and they've got sprinkled basil and thyme and oregano on the top of there. Probably just basil and oregano. These fuckers don't have class. So that's probably what they have sprinkled on top of there. And they probably like just did it once over with olive oil. It's like, well, the cheese has oil in it. The cheese has fucking fat in it. You don't need to put extra oil on there. And to arrange that, if I got this, I would be fucking livid. I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I like how also it's on this table. You can see like the fucking humidity like of it, the moisture like bleeding through.
Yeah, it's like getting a really, really fucked up bad plate of fajitas. Except you're at a restaurant that serves pizza, right?
Right.
Not fucking good. Yeah, it's on a wooden serving tray with a cast iron core. You can see that.
Yep.
They're basically, that must have been I don't know what the fuck that was at, but like if that's a Mexican restaurant, hey, you fucking tried and you failed. If that's at an actual pizza joint, you guys should be fucking drawn and quartered publicly. Not good. Not good.
Oh my god, I love it.
So yeah.
So number 17 says, shit, I forgot to put the ham on, and it looks like pizza with just slices of ham on it.
So, okay, I'll explain this. I know exactly what the fuck happened here. People got extremely fucking drunk. Like, really, like, blackout, fuck your sister drunk, right? And they attempted to make a quiche / pizza, a breakfast pizza with ham on there. They failed, and they were like, oh, wouldn't this be funny if we made it seem like we got it from a fucking pizza place?
I guess that's
fucking, yeah. And here's the thing is, if they did get it from a pizza place, again, those people that own the pizza place should be publicly, very publicly drawn and quartered for their fucking infraction. Massive infraction.
Whew.
What? I'll be back in a second.
All right. I just I don't know if you guys heard that. I could hear it through my speakers. Mike's better half was like, Mike, get out here right now. So God knows what's going on out there. Probably something having to do with the animals, but because I've been there and seen it happen, but it's okay, you know. Anyway, let's see. Someone says the crust looks like it's made out of Bisquick. Yeah, that's some thick shit right there with some yellow bleeding into it, whatever the fuck that is, some oil or whatever. It's disgusting. That's enough of that. That was the end of the page anyway. He'll be back. It can't be that bad. Can't hear anything now. I don't know if he put his mic on mute or what. I think if there was a fight, we'd be hearing yelling in the background. 11 Bravo Crunchy. I'm glad you like what you've been seeing of Reveille so far. Yeah, we're in the editing stage now, and fun stuff on a daily basis with the editing. So it's really cool. So I'll get dragged past the doorway. Yeah, Weasel Horse was probably doing something. So that's my guess. It was it's usually something with the animals anytime Mike has to get up and leave the room. You know, and then many a times it's, you know, he'll have his headset on, he'll be talking to me, and you know, I just hear him talking, and then all of a sudden he'll turn to his door and go, "Cody, shut the fuck up!" And I'm just like, I can't hear anything, dude. What's going on? And apparently the dog is making noise on the other side of the door, but it's not getting picked up by his mic. Oh, there he is. Yep, see, he's laying down paper towels. There was an accident. I don't know who it might have been one of the cats. He has like 5 cats. They're all orange tiger cats. Wouldn't it be hilarious if his whole shelf just gave way right now and all of the helmets came tumbling down? Lane trail of black powder from Acme. Ken next. Good Looney Tunes reference there. I like that. See some of the helmets actually we used in the movie on the shelf there. The German one with the bread bag straps on it was used in our movie as one of the main German guys. And of course, you can see one of the M1s in the background by the door over there. That, of course, was used in the movie. What is the pink thing? The pink thing is a custom-made pistol grip. It's part of a pistol anyway that Mike made called the Biggest Dickus. And I don't know if he's ever showed it on his channel before, but it's made to be just awful. That's the whole point of it. And so if he does end up sharing it, yeah, it's pretty bad. It is like bubblegum pink, like the pink shit that you get in the blue and yellow wrappers, and it has this weird texture to it. I've held it before. It's not good, as he would say. Now, I'll ask him when he gets back. I say, hey, you know, the asking about the Biggest Dickus, you know, you gonna show it? I don't know. Sometimes showing firearms on a live stream can get a little dicey, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We are on Discord. I don't know if that's if he's open to talking on there, but yeah, we talk on Discord a lot, usually with the movie stuff. That's how we work. Okay, 11 Bravo Crunchy says, why can't Hollyweird get World War II movies as historically accurate as their multi-million-dollar budgets as you were able to with a shoestring budget? Well, it's funny you say that, because the other day we watched the movie Midway. I did, Mike and Brian McCallion and our friend Nate, and we looked at the budget, and the budget for it was like, I think it was like $100 million or something. And for all of the terrible shit in the movie and everything, and they got a lot of inaccurate things with the uniforms that Mike and Brian were pointing out. There was like, if you give me like, just 10% of that budget, I'll outfit an entire army for you, and they'll look fucking amazing. And it's true. I don't know why more movies don't hire people like Mike. Honestly, that's why I wanted him to work on Reveille in the first place, because I knew he'd be able to make this look amazing without spending ridiculous amounts of money on it. You're still on mute there, Mike.
Good.
Hey, is everything okay?
The dog, he hasn't done this in like 3 fucking years, just decided to piss.
Oh.
Starting in Sophie's office, all the way to the kitchen.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I just let him out. I've let him out several times today.
Yeah.
And he decides to do that. So anyway, I'll get the rest of that cleaned up later.
Okay. Well, everyone was kind of speculating what was going on. I said it has to do something with animals. I mean, that's usually.
Oh, it absolutely was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something with animals, but that's what happens when you live with animals. So some of the people were wondering what the fuck the pink thing is behind your head on the shelf back there.
Oh, I can't show that on a stream.
That's what I said. Yeah, but I said the name of it, and
yeah.
That's what I left it as.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to be able to show you that on stream, but I don't want it to get zapped. So
it's quite the thing, though. I've held it before. It's
yeah, you did actually. Yeah. And when we get off of the stream, Mike, I'll show you my latest.
Latest, huh?
3D squirt kind of shit.
All right.
But yeah, Lane I think he's ready to come on now. All right, so
perfect.
I'll send him an invite. Dude, it was actually really good to rant about food, because here's the thing. Yes.
That was fun.
I like food, but like, also food has to be done a certain way. If I'm going to pay, here's the thing is, when I go out to eat, I want to pay you, not just for the experience. I want to pay you to make something that I can't make myself at home.
Right. Otherwise, why am I doing this? Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Yep. And there's the thing is, fajitas, the Mexican joint that's near us, they marinate their meat. They make it a certain way where I've tried so many times to figure out what they do to replicate it at home, and I can't. That's why I keep going there. Okay? Because I can't make it at home. There's other places where I'm like, yeah, I can make this at home. Easy.
Right.
And bam, I know what spices you use, and it's pretty basic. I'm not going to pay you an exuberant amount to get something that I could just make at home.
Yeah.
And what's up, Lane? We're talking about food. We're talking about like going out to eat. And like, I was just saying that when I go out to eat, I want to get something that I cannot make at home. Right.
Like you're like incapacitated from the food coma or what?
No. Like something that I can't quite make myself, because I like to cook, right? I can't make it at home. I when I go out to eat, I want something that I can't make myself, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, I want it to be so good where I'm like, I can't do this at home. That's why I'm coming here to pay the amount of money, because you guys make it better. The experience is good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the hell were we talking about? Pizza earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just ranting about pizza.
And it's like, yeah, you can make pizza at home, and it's like, but if you get a pizza joint that knows what the fuck they're doing, right? And you can't do it at home. You've tried, you're just like, I don't know what the hell they do, but it's so good. Then that's worth me spending money on that because I can't get that experience at home. But if you're going out to eat like at fucking Applebee's or TGI Fridays or whatever, it's like, okay, yeah, I can actually get breaded fucking chicken and fry that at home, either in a pan or in a deep fryer, or like you make a deep fryer out of a Dutch oven. I can do this at home. Like, I want to go out and be able to get things that I can't make at home. And I was using an example right before you got on, like my local Mexican joint, right? I live outside of a rural town. I'm like, it's probably more rural than where you're at, and I know that. But like, it's very rural, but we have two really good restaurants that are always busy because it's good. It's like when I get fajitas, right? You go to any place, you go to like Applebee's or whatever, they say, well, we have fajitas. Okay, they're okay, but it's like they're not like good. You can make that shit at home the way they did it, This place is so good, and I'm like, I've tried to replicate their spices, how they do it. Of course, they're not going to tell me, but like, I've tried to do it, and it's just not as good as their. I'm willing to go there and pay money to have that made because I can't do it at home. Now, people in general are just like, well, I'm too lazy to cook. I'm too lazy to learn how to cook. And they'll just go out and eat, and they're like, oh, this is delicious. Well, that's the 90s for you. That's the 2000s. Like, going to Applebee's. It's like, you could do this at home. Like, it's easy. It's cheaper. Oh, yeah. And the experience really isn't that good, like going out to like a whatever. But yeah. Anyway, I'm on a rant about like, because we had the pizza thing like earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about a lot of pizza. So we were getting crazy.
Right.
As you know from experience, Lane, we're very passionate people about just anything.
Oh yeah, of course. Once you get into it, it's going to be that way for like a good 45 minutes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's what I was telling Mike. I was like, if you want somebody to critique your food really well, get a fat ass like me to go in there and be like, yeah, not good.
I've had better.
I don't want soup when I order pizza. I want a pizza, or if I wanted soup, I'll order soup. I don't want both. It's it's like the shitty pizza. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we were talking about, and dude, it's something I'm very passionate about. Like, going out to eat is a thing, and it's like you're shelling out money that you worked for. It should be good. When it's not good, there's a fucking huge issue, and that describes like 90% of the Southeast. Like, they go out to eat, they're like, oh, it's the best thing ever. Like, you just ate at a Waffle House, which I'm not knocking Waffle House because Waffle House is good.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you can't bash
I can't.
Waffle House.
But here's the thing: is like, I'm like, but you also understand, dude. Like, realistically, you could make this at home. Like, you could.
I think Devonius would take to that.
Devonius, he's at a fucking hotel tonight. He's watching, I think. So, but no. Okay, when I go to a Waffle House, I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm like, this is going to be delicious food because I don't have time to cook for myself because I'm on the fucking road. And that's what it is. It's like you get the fucking the thin cut pork chop, the ribeye steak, or the T-bone steak, hash browns, pecan waffle, and that's it. Like, you're good to go, right? Mm-hmm. And a house salad, house salad, quote unquote. Like, it's it's iceberg lettuce chopped up very coarsely with some tomato and then whatever. But you know what you're getting, okay? Yeah. You know what you're getting at Waffle House. You know that it's consistent. If I go to a Waffle House in Missouri, or if I go to a Waffle House in fucking Eastern North Carolina, they're going to be consistent. It's going to be the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather go to a Perkins than get shot at a Waffle House, but that's me.
Okay. Let me put another caveat in there. During the day, during light hours.
Okay,
the Waffle House. Yes. No, because 100% I know. So during the day, when you go to a Waffle House in Missouri or North Carolina, it's going to be the same. It's like McDonald's, but it's better, right?
Yeah.
Because they cook in front of you, they scream your order out as soon as you order, like, and you can't understand it because they're talking in their southern fucking lingo, but you know what you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's, I wouldn't say it's like gourmet. I think it's just, it's that, you get that home feel when you go to Waffle House, because it's cooked in front of you. It's just, it's good.
Right. And it's also, it's the experience. Most people don't realize you're paying for the experience of Waffle House, and they're all the same, which is good.
Yeah.
But you go there after sundown.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's a gamble.
That's what I've always heard. And like talking about Perkins, like I thought Perkins went out of business when I was like 10 years old because we only had one here in Boise, and it went out of business and became a Hooters when I was like 10 or something like that. But then when I went out to the Midwest to see Mike and then to Iowa and stuff, I was like, fucking Perkins is out here. Mike was like, yeah, that's the shit out here.
Yeah.
Like,
they're everywhere.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think Grant is the manager of a Perkins.
That's I think so too. Yeah.
He is.
Perkins, it's funny because
I wasn't expecting it.
A few years ago, they changed up their menu, and they're actually like pretty fucking good.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're really
they had kind of like Domino's, like as far as you're getting whatever. But like Perkins, they changed up their menu, and my point was when you go to a hipster pizza place, right?
Mm-hmm.
That says best pizza, fucking they do all that shit. You expect you have some expectations that are there. And what Mike and I were talking about earlier is you have the crust or the dough, right? The dough is one thing. The crust that you get from how you bake it is another. You have the sauce. Usually it's tomato sauce. It can be Alfredo, whatever. Who gives a fuck? But we're just going to go with tomato sauce, right? Has to be good. Not too sweet, not too fucking savory, right? Mm-hmm. Right in the middle, spiced perfectly, right? And also the amount matters. And then the cheese on top of that also matters. You got mozzarella on top of there. You can try to put in some other hipster cheeses, like I was saying earlier, like Gruyere, cheddar. You can put Parmesan Reggiano in there, but it's not good because you can put that on the top of the pizza. Anyway, you have to get that top crust perfect. The right amount of salty, the consistency, the thickness, everything has to be just perfect. When you bake, because like Mike and I were saying, like the basic pizza, the base bitch level pizza is a cheese pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. It's not a negative connotation. It's just that is the base of the pizza. Now, when you start putting meat on there, well, guess what? Sweet Italian sausage has salt in it. So you have to balance that out with your cheese. Pepperoni has a lot of salt in there. Fucking Canadian bacon, hamburger, even the way it's seasoned, whatever. But like, you have to balance that out with the cheese. Because if it's too salty, it's not good. If it's not salty enough, it's not good either. And so that's the thing is like when you get a really good pizza place, they've already factored all this shit into there. Okay, well, this guy ordered a fucking Hawaiian. Okay, we know our dough and our crust is going to be fucking beautiful. So he ordered a Hawaiian. We'll put this much sauce on there, and then we'll put this much cheese on there, because we know the Canadian bacon is going to seep salt out into the cheese, and also the pineapple is going to make it more savory, or I'm sorry, sweet, and the savory will kind of counter that. Bam. And then it's perfect, right? A shitty pizza place won't take any of that shit into consideration. Right?
Yeah. It's subjective. It just depends on the place that you go.
Yeah. See, you're not. Yeah. Food is, dude. When you're 30 years old, Lane, we'll have this conversation again, and you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay.
You'll become a judgmental prick.
Yeah.
As far as pizza, you will be. I know you will be.
Of pizza?
Well, it's one staple food, right? It's one staple food that you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
But you'll start getting picky. You'll be like,
you'll be bitter about a bunch of other shit at that point, but
probably
pizza is going to be one of them. Yes,
pizza will be one because pizza is. I really actually don't know many people. I don't want to say if all, because like I probably know a couple of people that don't like pizza. Everybody likes pizza, right? Everybody that I know likes pizza, but you can get to a different level when you get better pizza, and you're like, oh shit, now I'm a snob, but you're not a snob because you're like you're going around and like, yeah, whatever. That's the conversation we were having earlier. But Lane's a young buck. Are you 20 yet?
I'm almost 20. How many more months? 6.
So no. Okay. So Lane's a young buck.
There you go. Yeah. How have you been, dude? I haven't seen you since we did the movie.
Well, I've been pretty good. Aside from being at the cemetery most of my time now, because people aren't dying, sadly. My paycheck relies on people dying. I'll always say that. I'll always say that's what I always say.
Truth and honesty.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So. And I mean, I'm done with my first year of college. And that was easy, if you ask me. I think a lot of people make college out to be super tough, and like high school teachers are like, oh, they're not going to take it easy on you. I got a college teacher that didn't show up to half the classes, and then I got a text from him saying I'm hungover, and I was like, okay, I get it. But that's what you get when you go to community college. That's what you get.
I remember that from high school. All the fucking saying like it's gonna be like you can't mess around, you can't fool around there. It's just like, I don't know. I got to college and it was like, it seems like everyone, unlike high school, everyone actually gives a shit here. Even, but they're they just don't fuck around. Yeah, just like, I mean, they're if you're paying to go there, then everyone's gonna take it seriously. It's like it's shit that people actually want to learn about.
Right, and it's also like people, I guess, because of what the high school teachers said. So I went in the military first, right, and then I went to college after I got back, and I witnessed a lot of these like younger people coming straight out of high school, right, after I've been back, and like they were like, oh, this is the hardest thing. I'm like, this is fucking cake, dude. Like, you have no idea. Like, this is awesome. Like, you should be having fun here. Like, yeah, but the finals. And I'm like, yeah, pay attention in class. And they're like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm like, well, pay attention, and then the finals will be nothing. It's nothing if you pay attention.
Yeah.
You just show up and pay attention. Like, and a lot of them could not get that concept, and it was especially fun at the liberal arts college that I went to get my 4-year, my bachelor's. And these kids were like, trust fund kids, suburban kids, city kids that, were just in there and like, this is so difficult. I'm like, you have no fucking clue. Like, this is awesome. Like, this is easy. You show up to class, pay attention, right? And you have to write a couple of papers. Well, I can't write papers. I'm like, papers are fucking easy.
Yeah, they are.
They really are. And I'm like, to show up and pay attention, it's we have your social life. I get that, which is why we should raise the age from fucking 18 to 25 to get into college. Well, I'm worried about my social life. Okay, go ahead and go out and do your thing. Like, fuck everybody that you want and have drama, blah blah. Like, but it's like, dude, college is so fucking. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's totally easy, but here's the thing: it's manageable stress. That's the thing. Very manageable stress. It's like, I stressed out for a couple of the finals that were actually intensive. And to be honest with you, my tech school that I went to for criminal justice was harder than my 4-year that I ended up going to. I didn't go to school for 4 years there, but I went to school for 3. Because I had the associates and then I went on to get the bachelor's. My tech school was a lot more stressful and intensive. And like, holy shit, I actually have to do research and like, know my shit to pass these exams than the 4-year. And it's like, well, if that's the hardest thing you've ever been faced with in your life, that's not good. Because life is a bitch, man. Like, and so no, I'm actually glad you say it was like easy because it is. Yeah. It really is.
It's in like writing classes or like English classes. I don't know how the hell kids would get like D's on their papers. I mean, I never once got below a B+ on a paper. It's not hard. Most of the time, I just bullshitted and just rambled. That's what you do.
Same.
That's what you do. It's easy. Just act like you know what you're talking about. I say this to everybody that's going into those classes. I'm like, just talk scholarly. Just if you want to fill in words for like 500 word essays, just fill in, talk scholarly, and you're probably going to get a B. It's easy. I don't know. And I had one of the worst professors that was a hard ass on grading, and I was like, this guy's likable. I mean, he's fun. I mean, he's not that hard of a professor.
Right.
Everybody has their own preferences, and it's just
it's just a lot of people that. I'm sorry, Mike, I'll let you talk in a second. Let you talk. I'll hand it over to you in a second. How about that? Nice language. But most people that go to college they should not be there. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Is they're so fucking stupid to begin with, and they have this like false fantasy that they've been pushed, through high school and everything to go to college. It's like, well, college is not for everybody. It never has been.
Yeah.
Except for nowadays where everybody's like pushed to there. It's like, well, when you force everybody to go to college, you lower the standards. Like, I was not challenged for the most part in college. I was not challenged, right?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you do this, do this, do this, do this. My thought of college always was, you go to college, you're challenged in your thoughts, in the way you do things. You're challenged, and you're like, fuck, I need to become a better person. I need to like figure out my the shit in my head, like, to be able to do this, right? That's what I thought college was. It wasn't. For me, it was like, because of the military shit, it was like, it was easier than the military, which is saying something, because the military is not that fucking hard. It's little sleep, a lot of physical shit, depending on what you do, but like whatever. And I'm like, I expected to go to college and be challenged, and I was the first 2 years that I went there in a tech school, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a community college, and I was challenged. I was actually challenged there. That was fine. The 4 year that I went to, I was not challenged. It was not difficult. It was just, you follow these procedures, bam, that's what you do, you're good to go. It's like, well, that's not good, because college should challenge people and weed people out who are not able to do that shit,
Oh, yeah.
And it just is not that way. It hasn't been for a couple decades now. But okay. Yep.
Yeah. So are you going back for a second year?
Yeah, I have to get my associates in order to go into a mortuary program and then become a funeral director.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also a very realistic and viable degree. How many people do you have like that are doing that program with you?
I don't know right now, but I think it's like, all I know is that I haven't signed up for anything yet because I have another year. But fun fact, only 50% of students that go through that program make it. A lot of kids just quit. They can't take it.
Yeah.
I
So
understand.
But what you're going for is it requires some form of education, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously relatable, or not relatable, but like it makes sense. We'll just put it that way. And the fact is, like, what you're doing. You've been doing the internship and you've been working there for a while now.
About a year.
But like, here's the thing: is that's actually a great career to get into because it's job security. You've got a job forever. People die all the time.
Yeah.
All right. People just die. Like that's the thing is, all three of us. Oh, weird enough, we're gonna die someday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like that's smart. But people that go into like typical like just the generic liberal arts or the women's studies or the fucking gender studies, all shit. It's like, well, good luck getting a job. Even history, it's very saturated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got my 2 degrees in criminal justice. The thing is, like, if my business takes a giant shit, I can go and become a corrections officer at my local jail or a prison around here. I can. I don't want to do that, but I still have that. Yours is so fucking niche and needed as well. You're going to college for a job that requires you to know this, this, and this, and do this while you're doing your internship. And then when you get out of that, you've got a job lined up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a job you can do. And most people that go to college now, like that's how it used to be. Like you would go to college and be like, I'm going to go for this, this, or this. STEM, a lot of that, back in the day. When you get out, well, then you apply to these different places and then you actually go there and you do your job, make a difference. You get guaranteed work, basically. Now it's like college is so generic because of the government, the backing of the loans and everything, the grants and all this shit. It's like it just invalidates all that shit. And who gives a fuck? But that's why you're smart, is because when you graduate college, it's I've got a guaranteed job that pays pretty well. A lot of stress or whatever, and I get that, but like it's still like you've thought about that and you've actually done it. Here's the thing. Internships are very important, and that's one thing I won't shit on my school for, is because they required an internship to graduate in certain fields, and that's fine. But like you've already been doing that, and so and then when you get out of college, guess what? Your student loans, your whatever expenses you have, paid off in a couple years.
Yeah,
I'm saying a couple like within 5, like not 30 or 40 years. And so that's a very smart thing to do. And so
I'm the one paying off student loan debt for 30 years. That's me.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you go to film school in Los Angeles.
Well,
man,
that's fun.
Man.
It's what you guys should have done. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, cool, man. I'm glad that you're, you're chipping away at your career. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's not a career for everybody, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, that's what, dude. I couldn't do it. So I mean,
I can't even remember how many times I just told my story of like how I became interested in the mortuary field when we were down in Missouri. I can't even remember how many times I talked about it.
Yeah, but it also came in very handy though. Like,
well,
we were sitting there, we were like, oh, we got to make these guys look like they're actually dying. And it was like, get Lane in here,
Yeah,
he's gonna instruct.
It was even more funny. Like on the first day, like when we were, it was like day 3 or something. We had the bodies like the whatever, like laid
in the
out
pits.
Yeah, and then Lane was like, "Yeah, that's not how they're gonna look."
And I was like, "All right, dude, tell us what to do."
All right, and then he did, and then it was like, "Oh fuck!" So that's also another thing you could do for a side gig. We already talked about that, and like, because everybody's got their own experience, it paid off a lot in the film. But like, yeah, it was fun. Like, hey, how's this guy gonna be bleeding at this point? How is he gonna be doing this?
Yeah,
and it's fucked up. But like, hey. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can like turn the filters off.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, it was really fun, and that's a lot of things. Like people won't know, like, because maybe 1,000 people will watch this stream, but like people who watch the film be like, oh, that's kind of like icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, we've got Lane to thank for that, because I don't know. I've seen bodies that were there for a bit, or just dead or whatever, and they were being carried and whatever. And I don't know, like a body that's been laying there for a while, and like that's the thing that I don't know. And
the one thing I was thinking about after I got done with it, like after I was home and I was able to decompress, I was like, crap. That certain point in the pits where we get to see that one shot, I was like, it should have been brown. Because in the sun, and then Mike and I have talked about this, and it's like in the sun, it's going to be dry, and that shit rots pretty quickly, and it's not pretty. I just thought about that, and I was like, yeah. What else did I think about? I thought about one other point where I was like, should eyes be closed or should they be open? Because you're technically going to sleep at that point. But then I was like, it's fine. It'll look good in post-production.
The good thing
that's the thing is like, I think you and I were talking about this late, is some people that I've seen that have died from various causes in my whole life, not just in the military, but like some of them die with their eyes closed. Some of them they're open.
Yeah.
And I don't know the rhyme or reason for that. Like there's people that know a lot more than you and I do, but like it's weird how like especially in combat, a lot of people seem to die with their eyes open.
Yeah. I can.
There was a photo. I've seen a lot of photos from, wars of dead bodies and such like that. And I remember seeing a couple of them to where like sometimes like the one eye will be closed, but then the other one will be like open. It's weird. It's completely bizarre. But the thing you mentioned about that brain matter and stuff being brown with the blood and everything, that the good thing is we can change that in editing, so we can actually make it look like that. So that's a good thing to note.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And like, it's when you were saying like, no, this is how it would look. It's like, okay, well, let's get it done. And then you got it done, and it was like awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, what we did is like, we had people that like we didn't even know, like a bunch of people, not just me or Lane or you, Michael. Like people just were like, oh, I actually know this, and I didn't know that I knew this until right now. Like I didn't think it was going to be relevant, and they just pulled shit, and they're like, well, wouldn't this look better? Okay, why? This, and this? Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it was like, yeah, it was awesome to do that.
Some of the people in the chat here were actually wondering, who is this guy? They don't know.
Oh, Lane?
Yeah.
Lane is, he busted his ass doing mostly sound, right, Lane?
Yeah.
Mostly sound, and then also he has a role in Reveille. It's a small role, but it's a very well played and important role in this. And so he was bouncing back and forth between doing sound and production part of it, and then he had to get into the acting role. And I was telling, what the fuck was I telling their night about like that one night, because you rode with me basically every day there and back in the van. Mm-hmm. And the one night before you had your first lines and like you were actually on screen, it just happened to be like Bart was sitting next to me, and then Joe just happened to have jumped in and been like, yeah.
Thank God for Joe.
No. Right, exactly.
Thank God for him.
Remember we were riding back, like we were all so tired, and I was just like, fuck, I gotta keep my eyes open, keep them on the road, driving out of that very rural area. And we're talking, and Bart was talking, and Bart and I were talking, and I was like, yeah, Lane back there, he's playing the runner. And then Joe, I see him perk up in the rear view. And he's like, oh, you have a role in this? And you're like, yeah. And you were tired as fuck. Everybody was tired as fuck. Yeah. And so he's like, oh, you have a role? And I'm like, yeah, he's the runner, like the guy that comes in. And he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, fuck, clicked in my head. I'm like, well, why don't we run some lines? And so I was like, why don't you guys do that? And then Joe was already grabbing his script when I said that. And then you guys ran lines just in the back of the van.
Yeah.
And then I remember Joe told you, he goes, okay, you can read them. He goes, all right, let's both put our scripts down. You're just talking to me right now. And then you got nervous and you were like, okay. And you started like stumbling.
In like
right. And you started stumbling
yeah.
and Joe just went with it. And we're just listening. It was like, it was all good. And it's like, we're driving back. We were in like Sparta at this point and driving back. And then, you were like, and he goes, all right, relax, take it easy. You know your lines. Like, we're just talking. And then you got better and better each run through you went through without the lines or without the script in front of you rather. And it was so fucking awesome to like hear that, like you going, and he just went with it. He wasn't like, well, you stumbled there. And it was like, okay. And then the next day, and it was awesome. Like hearing you guys read that. You wrote it. You read it all the way fucking back to the chateau that we were staying at, and it was awesome. And it just happened to be the one day that Joe just decided to jump in the back.
Thank God.
Was the one day it was so fucking convenient and like the best. And it was like, yeah, you guys just ran through that. And then by the time you got back, and then the next day when you went in there, it was like, bam.
Yeah, because
I did it. Yep.
Mike, it was you. I was the one you were telling me about that because I didn't know about that with the with you guys in the car. I didn't know about that at all. So I think it was. I think we know when I was passing by, leading up to that day to where we did that scene. I was just like, I'd see Lane. I'd be, hey Lane, you gonna be ready for that scene in the cave? And you were like, yep. And so I was just like, okay, I trust that he's got it ready. I didn't know that you guys did that. But yeah, once we got there in the cave and. Okay, Lane, are you ready for this? You're like, yep. And then you did it, and like you didn't fumble any lines or anything. So it was like,
nope, just fucking nailed it. And it was the thing is like, again, serendipity, and it was just that one night Joe happened to hop in the back, and Lane happened to be there because like Lane was always like falling asleep in the back. I wanted to sleep, but I had to drive. It was goddamn.
Out for the count many times.
Yeah, for sure.
Shooting sometimes. I was just like, I am not used to waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not used to this shit.
Well, that's where like the military shit helps out. Like, cause it's you get used to it. You don't like it. You're not necessarily like good with it, but you can do it. And like, yeah, but you were a trooper, man. And that was like the thing when you and Joe are working back there. That's something I wish I could have recorded, but I was also so fucking tired, and so was Bart, and like. It was just like whatever, and but it was so awesome just to hear you guys bouncing back and forth, and you were nervous, and like Joe's just like, hey, we're good, we're just talking here, and Joe's a phenomenal fucking actor, and so the rest of them, like he happened to be in there at that point, and then the next day I was like, okay, watch this. I told Brian, I said, watch this, and so you came in and you just fucking nailed it. And it was like, thank Christ we had that set up that the night before.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Yeah, I was even thinking, I was like, because I know Lane, I know this isn't like your thing that you normally do, So I was just like, I wonder if we're gonna have to do like multiple takes of this. I hope he's okay and everything. But he came in, I was like, all right, he got it, perfect.
Yep, yeah, and it was awesome because it was like a 45-minute drive back, and about the first 10 minutes, we were just kind of like, God damn, fucking tired, bitching.
That's every day, man. Yeah, and it's so funny. Some people were like, when we first started, like, so how early were you starting? At 5 a.m. You're like, oh my God, that's so early. It's like, no, dude, like for a production, that's late.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, we were all tired, bitching, like, not at the production, but like, fuck, I'm tired. But it's like, yeah, that's again, the military shit, like. It helps you out with that, but like even people that weren't in the military, like they were all troopers. Like they just fucking we're tired as fuck. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna do our best job. And that was actually very fucking cool to witness. Like just that little thing, and it happened more than once. It wasn't just with you and Joe. It was with other people, and a lot of it was at the house. And it was just cool to see people like really tired and like worn out and stressed and whatever, but to be able to like just get really into it, and then like that was fucking cool. And that was just funny because like I really wish I would have had some cameras rolling on that for the making of, but
next time.
Yeah, but no, it was really cool. And then, I mean, Joe's a great guy, and he worked with you very well, I think. That's why I just shut up. I didn't say a goddamn word. And it was like, hey, and then you got more comfortable and better and just like talking to him because he's like, yeah, it's one of the guys that you're going to be saying this line to. He's going to be sitting right there, you know, right next to Jared and the other actors. And it was really fun. And you fucking nailed it. And so it was really funny too, like the shit hanging out of your arm. He's like,
yeah,
hey, you want to get that checked out? You're like,
oh, it's a flesh wound.
Yeah,
well,
tis but a flesh wound.
The flesh wound. That's the thing. That's the thing is, you said it's a flesh wound, and then I went over to you and I was like, don't say that's your money.
Don't say that shit.
Yeah, don't do that.
And then you got that right, and then you said something later, and then Brian went over to you and he's like, please never say y'all.
Yeah. That was new to me. I was like, okay, I say y'all sometimes, but then I was like, oh yeah, and East, that Northeastern accent, they're not gonna say y'all. No.
But it's funny because we actually got that on camera, so that's the whole thing with me. I was like, the flesh wound thing, don't fucking say that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, and that wasn't on camera as far as I know, but like Brian, when he came out to you, it was so funny because it's cut on camera because the camera was still rolling because people were talking and everything, and like, you can clearly see Brian come up to you and goes, yeah, this was good and all this.
And he's
like, how about this?
No,
don't ever say y'all, please.
Yeah, just don't. It's insulting, funny, is like, what it is.
The desperation in his voice.
It's like, please.
Well, it's funny because like Brian is like the most polite guy in the world, and he's like, so he's so just please, just don't ever say y'all ever again.
Yeah, exactly. It's so fucking funny. And then you were just like, okay, yep, got it.
Yep.
And then you didn't, and it was just funny that Brian walks. But we got that on film. That's the funniest part. Is like we got that part on film, like for the bloopers or the whatever after this comes out, and it's like you're just like, oh, okay.
During the editing process of this whole thing, there was a lot of funny things that we caught on camera. Like my favorite one is, Elaine, I think you were there because you were doing sound at this point. Where Christopher Irk like got legitimately pissed at Remy and like shoved him and then started cussing at him.
Like, stop looking at me like that.
Don't fucking look at me like that.
I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
We're about to see shit go down.
Yep.
Well, like leading up to that too, Nick, was playing the Perez, the American squad leader. He improvised the line Nazi bastard. And when we were setting up the next take to do that, Chris looked and he said, did he just say Nazi bastard? I said, yeah, he did. And he just went, he like got him like really mad. And he was like, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything because
I'm done.
Yeah, he was just like in that mode. I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to let it roll.
I'm just a messenger,
Yep, that was great. And then I mean, your role, Lane, is kind of funny because you come in, you got that shit hanging out of your arm, and then the next scene you come in and you're just like still the same, like just hyped up, like fucking I gotta get this message, I gotta deliver this message to this guy, and it's fun. And I'm not ruining anything because like that's a small part but very important part of the movie, and it's just like everything came together, and it's what's Lane, people that are watching or will be watching, well, probably 17 now.
Yeah, Dylan just texted me.
I guess we're not talking about food anymore, so they're not fucking watching. But it's fun. Lane is actually in the film, so that's gonna be fun.
And did you? Mike told me that before we did that take that you like ran around outside.
Yep.
I ran up the hill a few times.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, go fucking run.
Yeah.
I'm like, go fucking run. Because I was sitting outside of the cave.
I was already getting pissed because those boots are not fun to run in. And I was like, I'm running on wood and rocks. And I'm like, I'm just going to slip and fall. And I'm going to get pissed even more. And, I was okay with getting pissed, but man, I was just like, I was surprised I didn't get any blisters. I was very surprised.
I am too.
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah, I really am.
Oh my God.
because I remember you and me, Lane, were sitting outside and like they were doing a scene before had to go in, and you're like, I'm trying to get into this mode. Like I just don't know. Like I should be running. I should be out of breath. I'm like, go fucking run the hill. Go down there and go up there, and then come back. And you're like, okay. And you just like took off, and I'm like, good.
With my little M1 carbine,
Yeah.
Hey,
my little lightweight.
Well, it's a beast of a fucking weapon.
Oh yeah.
300 yards in, like, yeah, you're good to go. But like, no, it's like they would have given a runner an M1 carbine or something. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Were you there when we went to the gun range? Yeah, you were there for that. Yeah. So you got to shoot all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And then just hearing Max just rant about, K98s and how therapeutic and meditative they are, and I was just like, yeah, man, yeah, go lay down in
guns
the puddles.
In general are therapeutic.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Go lay down in the puddles. See, that's all you.
Yeah.
You want to get wet? Do that.
I forgot. Did you get stuck with us, Lane? Like when Myra, and yes, if she's watching this, I don't give a fuck. When Brian and I are both weather nerds, we're like, oh, we got a big cell headed right towards us. And then she's like, no, it's over there. And I'm like, no, it's headed right fucking towards us.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's over there. Were you there like when it actually hit?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit.
Dude,
and then
Brian and I both saw the clouds and we're like, yeah, fuck. And then it was like, okay. So Myra brought the first group back, and then the second group was out there, and like we were shooting, and all of a sudden I was like 3, 2, 1, and it was like raining horse cocks. It was just fucking massive.
It was bad.
And I'm like, okay, let's get all the guns off the fucking line, whatever, get everybody to shoot. And then we sat there, we were underneath the, you were there. I remember this now. Okay. I just had to juggle my memory, but like we were underneath the van, like that I had rented. We were underneath that thing, and I was smoking cigarettes. And then Noble was like, I have never experienced rain like this in my entire life. I'm like, this is Midwest rain. This is not California rain. This is Midwest. Like,
got to experience snow too.
Yeah, exactly. That was on the last day. Yeah. So it was like, he got to experience the rain and horse cocks, like big rain, and then snow like a couple days later. So that was fun.
I mean, I live in the cornfields in Iowa, and I've never seen weather like that, just fluctuating. It's like 80 on the first few days, and then overcast, and then rain, and then snow. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's the lower Midwest. Like that's how it works. And it was insane. Then the one night we were sitting there at the chateau, and all of a sudden I got the ding on my phone. It's like tornado warning, or tornado watch rather. I'm like, it's March, dude. It's too early for this shit.
Yeah, come on.
I'm like, God damn.
2 days ago, or I think it was actually yesterday, Myra messaged me, and she said, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, just, doing this and that. And she said, well, I'm in a basement right now. We have a tornado warning here.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
And so, I was like,
did you message her too?
What?
Did you talk to her too?
Yeah, I was talking to her last night. We got a meeting, and she was like driving through a neighborhood, and she's like, there's a bunch of trees down. And I'm like, it's probably a straight line winds or some heavy wind. I'm like, because I don't read any tornadoes like on the whatever. They were very late to update the tornado like things that had happened, and so I was like, yeah, whatever, it's probably that. And then no, there was actually a tornado like not that far from where she was.
Fuck.
And I mean, it was an EF0, so it was like a tornado, but like not like a fucking F5 or anything like that. But it still was a tornado, and so I talked to her this morning. I saw the update, and I was like, oh, I guess you were right. Like, I guess you were right. There was a tornado, and but yeah, so that hit really close to her. Yeah. But yeah, it's I mean, in the Midwest, like that's why like Lane once in a while I'll be like, hey, stay frosty, because like fucking weather. And in the Midwest, it's like, dude, it's a fucking crapshoot.
It's in Iowa especially. It's just it's all over the place. I mean, we had snow when I got back, and there was like a huge snowstorm when we were down there, and I was like, damn, it was just like 70 the day I left. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, and like the lower Midwest is more extreme.
Yeah.
The upper Midwest is like the same thing. It was like, we went from this year. We went from winter to spring or to summer.
Yeah.
We had no in between. It was cold and shitty and snowing, and then all of a sudden it's like thunderstorms. It's warm, kind of like 70 degrees. It's warm and somewhat humid. There was like 2 days where that happened, and it's like so we didn't have a spring. We just had winter up through most of the part of April and the beginning of May, and then it's now summer. Everything's green, everything's great, and it's like it's funny as shit. And also like a lot of tornado shit around us, a lot of hail around us.
Yeah,
hail's fun.
Yeah.
So,
someone said here in the comments, "Hey, Lane's my buddy," and that's
Dylan.
Oh, it's Dylan. Okay.
Dylan texted me a while back. He's like, "Holy shit, dude!" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty fun."
Nice. Yeah.
Dylan now wants to jerk you off.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't swing for the same team. Okay.
Oh, that's news to me.
Oh,
God damn! Coming from the person that can't grow facial hair, come on.
Can you? Let's be honest here, penis.
I have to shave every single week because my boss is like, "You better not have a single facial hair when you're at my funerals," and I'm like, "Okay."
Well, that's good. Okay.
It's like, yeah,
all
that
right.
makes sense.
Point is sustained. We're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't offend the dead. With facial hair.
Yeah, can't.
So when I glanced at it, his name on YouTube is Films and Stuff, and when I just read that, I thought it said Films and Snuff. Just glancing at it, I'm like, what the fuck? But okay.
Films and snuff films.
Films and
snuff films.
What are you doing there? What are you
doing there, Dylan?
Yeah.
You're doing something else.
No, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
That was cool. Hey, you were one of the only people at that giant fucking house that had his own room, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my Jack Shack. I missed that.
The Wax
Shack.
It was so cozy. Shack, yeah.
It was so cozy.
Like, there was a couple times where I was like throwing him like the something for the next day, and I didn't think he was gonna be in there, and I like just ripped open the door and like was throwing this thing in there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry, dude. And he wasn't jerking it.
I can't remember what I was doing. I think it was like.
You were just listening to music, you had your earbuds in, and you were like, what? And you like had the surprise look in your face, which I would have too.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. Like I should knock first, like fucking whatever. But you had the Wax Shack, the Harry Potter Wax Shack underneath the stairs.
I was more afraid that somebody else would come at knocking on my door at night. Michael, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it didn't happen.
Please don't.
You're gonna hear a cane coming down.
I know
the
I'm young, but please just let me be.
I had nowhere to go. I can't get out
except
for this door.
Just take a chair in there with you and just put it up against the door.
Like occupied.
It's like you guys ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay, so no, it's not even worth a joke.
I'm not.
Anyway, so yeah, no, that was a fun little Wax Shack you had, but like, people were like, kind of like, what the fuck does he get? I'm like, because he's here the whole fucking time. But that's why he gets his own fucking room. Like, you guys used to leave early, and then he's been here the whole time. But that was cool, like the Harry Potter thing. And like, here's the thing: is nobody ever had to get you up and out of your fucking Wax Shack. It was like you were up, you were out there and doing your thing, and that's why it was fun. We had our little Wax Shack back behind the bathrooms, which was fun.
Yeah, your little threesome back there.
Oh, dude, there were so many times where we were like locked in because people were using both bathrooms. It was like, Jesus Christ. And so we had to walk through shit stench.
I'm surprised that people were able to shit because I didn't shit for like 10 days, and I was like,
"Well, I know you told me that you're like
something wrong with me." And
I'm just shit. I'm like, "Well, you."
And then you said you went through boot camp, and it was the same way. Like something like some people were saying, "Oh, I didn't shit for 2 weeks when I was in boot camp." And I was like, I can't imagine that.
And then you take a shit, and it's like it's a snake.
And there's no privacy in those bathrooms. It's like,
no, you got these guys over here, these guys over here.
Yeah, it's like,
well, and it's like. Us always like being like, hey, you almost done? so we get the fuck out and
I guess he probably won't mind if I say this, but talking like I was the same way, Lane. I didn't shit for I think 10 days or something.
Oh, man.
And I one day I mentioned that like at the fire pit where we were hanging out, and I was like, yeah, and Mike, you were like, dude, that's not good, and Yoni was standing right next to me, and he says, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I am. He goes, dude, like I gotta shit 20 times every day.
I can't imagine. And like in the same bathroom as Mike's been, no, you don't want to be in there for at least 30 minutes.
No, I think I shit like a whopping total of
got shit brewing.
Oh, dude! So there was one time, I didn't shit much at the house, to be honest, but there was one time where it was like day 3 where the Americans had just got there and they were doing their first scenes, and I'm like, I've got to fucking, because I had been there for almost a week at that point because I got there before the people got there and everything, and so I was there like from Saturday or Sunday. Anyway, so I'm like, well, I haven't shat much, and all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta fucking, this has to happen, and I ran down, and I like jogged down to the outhouses at the pavilion, down, at the ranch, and I sat there and I was like, okay, good, nobody's here. I sat down, and my God, this whole bleeding, and is this gonna go down? Yeah. And so I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I'll try it. So I gave her a flush before wiping, by the way. I gave her a flush, and she went down. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, we're good. And then, after a copious amount of paperwork, and, my asshole was still gaping open because of the trauma I just experienced. It's like, okay, got it cleaned up. And then I stood up, and I was like, dude, I literally feel like a new person. Like, this is really good.
I'm so much better.
Well, I just felt better. I'm like,
I gotta cleanse. Okay. That Taco Bell cleanse fucking sucked. Thank God for Netflix.
Okay, let's just dissect there what you just said. Taco Bell cleanse.
Yeah.
Bit of an oxymoron if I've ever heard one.
I mean, if you want, true. But man, I was just
Taco Bell clean out. Yes, that's fine.
Clean out. But I tell you what, when we went to that cafe. Mike, you talked to me about this. You said, everybody's eating healthy, and people were eating healthy like all those days before, but then they got that grease in them, and then people were just going at it in the bathroom that night. I remember waking up at like 3:00 and being in there till like 4, and I was like, "This ain't fun. Am I gonna be able to operate tomorrow at all?"
I had to hear about this. I had to hear about this afterwards, and it's funny because Mike mentioned it while we were there. He was like, "People are not gonna respond well to this food."
Yeah.
Well, so you got cleaned out though, and it was like good because
dear God,
I mean, not good, but like, did you have like the white knuckle fucking cramps? Or
I had to take off all of my clothes. It was one of those, so, you take off everything, and you're just in your head's in your knees. You're just you can't move.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you in the bathroom that connected to Mike's bedroom?
Yeah,
of course he was.
No, I was. I didn't realize we had a bathroom in the kitchen until like the 6th day, and I was like, "Oh, this is super nice. It's very convenient."
Yeah.
But then Burdette tried to walk in on me a few times, and I was like, "Okay, I'm not using this anymore."
Are you serious?
Yeah, he came in not once, but twice, and I was like, "Dude, it's the same day. Come on, knock."
Well, but to be fair though, like that bathroom was very convenient for everyone, and like, and so that it's fine. But like,
God,
the ones downstairs though, those things got used into like. I would go in there. We'd be sitting in the room talking for like 15, 20 minutes. Brian, or if Sam was in there, and we'd be talking, and we'd just hear multiple.
You hear the acoustic explosion inside the toilet.
Well, you hear like the pain groans, and it's like, oh, that's not gonna be. Then you hear the fucking the anvil hitting the fucking water, and then it's just like, okay, we're good.
Man.
And then
Mike, was it you that laid that nuke of a shit on the last day we were there?
No.
Like on that morning? Because my God, it was it bad.
I was okay. I will say this. I was the last
I remember
one.
smelling that. Yeah.
I was the last one to take a shit.
It was everywhere.
In that house. I was the last one to take a shit in that house. But the nuke part, no.
We don't know who that was.
We still don't know. I think it was it had to have been from diarrhea from somebody that was partying too much the
night before.
The night before. Right. Oh man. Thank you for being my father figure that night. Cause it was Cooper that was the one that was like, hey, why don't you stop being such a bitch and just go get one? And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. No,
that was what Cooper said?
Yeah, he said that to me. I was like, man, at these times, I really wish I was 21. He said, how about you quit being a little bitch and just go grab one? Nobody's going to care. And I was like,
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to pound, 4 or 5 angry
something like 5. And then I got like Stone IPAs and those were shit. And I was like, okay, there's no more Angry Orchards. I'm bored.
Yeah.
That was because that night you'd come, we were like all hanging out and we were in the garage. You came up, you're like, dude, this is great. This is great.
This is great. This is great. I got so many videos of that night and I don't remember. I think once we got done in the kitchen, everything just went black. You know, I remember going down to the threesome bedroom.
Yeah, you were in the dungeon with us. Yeah.
Yeah, in the dungeon. And then I remember just teeter-tottering on the bed. I remember just teeter-tottering. And then
I put you to bed and I was like, make sure you lay on your side.
Yeah, get him down now.
I was like, yeah. Well, no, I was just like,
box wine. Oh my God, was it strong?
Yeah. No, it's all good. It was a fun night and going to the art tour.
Yeah.
With Cooper and Max as our tour guides.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
Max, what a fellow! He's so nice. Dude. I'm surprised. That was just crazy how nice he was off the bat, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. He fucking I saw him, you know, like how he was doing and everything, like when we first started. And I pulled him aside actually in the office. I said, you're gonna have to be like the guy that binds everyone together. Yeah. You know, I can tell right now. And he did for the rest of the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Max is if Max, you're watching this right now or in the future, great guy. Mm-hmm. You're very short. Very scrawny compared to my ogre ass, but you were a very nice guy. Yeah. It's funny because like we have some pictures of like us like arms around each other, and like that's the picture. I got a picture. I got multiple ones with him and Dave Morales, right? Who played Fife, and they're both like short guys. They're like built, but they're short. Mm-hmm. And we have pictures of me sitting in front of them. Or behind them, in front of the porter, or not the porter shitter, but like the actual shitter on scene, on the set. And I was like, the picture of me and my 2 favorite munchkins. and Max
you're like up. You're like a chest and a head taller than they are. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And it was just fucking funny. Like, because the first thing that Joe Bongiovanni said to me was like when we first met, when we got back from that day, and I was all stinky and just disgusting and full of dirt and everything. He comes in and I'm like, "Oh, hey, Joe." He goes, "Oh, you are a big motherfucker, aren't you?" And we hugged and everything, and I'm like, "Yeah, I told you, man. Like, it's not just that I'm tall; it's like I'm a fucking ogre. Like I'm fucking built like." And then Max was saying one night, he's like, because he was a pro wrestler a while back, mm-hmm. and he was pretty fucking stacked, and he's like, yeah, but you got a body like so-and-so. Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know when I'm in shape, it's pretty good. But right now, round is my shape or something like that. And it was just fun. But then the one night I wore the shirt with the cat riding the the shark barfing up a unicorn or a rainbow and wearing a cowboy hat. That's what Max is like, no, like, you're good to go. Like you got a body like so and so. Like you fucking yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's when you're in shape though. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, it's fucking fine. But yeah, it's just funny how like the actors are like very average size. Like they're just normal like size people. Some of them are tall, like Chris and Kevin,
Bart,
and John and Bart.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not like this wide-chested fucking tank. That's what Joe calls me, as a tank. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's fair.
Yeah, you crank the tank.
Yeah, no, crank the tank. No, I don't do that anymore. Oh, okay, I guess one beer wrong. Yeah, and then fucking, we're going streaking through the quad to the gymnasium. But
old school.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. But
how much money did that rental service charge you for the damages to that van?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing?
It was a surprise, yeah.
Yeah, because not to get too into detail, I cleaned the shit out of the interior, and the rest of the exterior was like scratches and shit from the thorn bushes and all that shit. But it wasn't bad. And they just did a walk around and saw there was no damage. They saw there was no damage, and then they said, "Okay, cool." And then I was charged the fee for the 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were done. Because I was like, okay, but I cleaned it out though, very nice. Because dude, the interior was fucked. It was like dirt, fucking plants, shit in there. Like, oh god, so I paid a couple bucks to get the vacuum, like the thing at the laundromat, like you can go to the vacuum, and I sucked everything out of there that I possibly could, got it cleaned out nice, and so no, we were good on that. I thought they were gonna charge me more, but
well, yeah, it was funny because one of the it was probably, I think, right in the middle of the whole thing, the production. I came up to the van with you for something, and you just looked at me and you said, "This thing's fucked."
Well,
yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off stream. How about that?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off stream of what happened. And yeah, because it. Okay, we'll just do that. But no, it was good. That van actually, that thing worked a ton.
Yeah,
and it was like that fucking thing.
Especially on the way home. My God, were the shocks had to be gone after that, because
right, and it was like
that was down to the ground.
Yeah, because you rode home like for the most part with me. I dropped you off in Iowa, and then it was like we had so much shit in the back. It was like that's more than 6 people. Like that's more than 6 people's worth of weight.
Yeah,
and it was riding so low, and then but yeah, I made it home. That's why I like minivans. People shit on them. They're like, get a fucking truck. I'm like, well, yeah, but what happens when it rains and when it does all that shit? I'm like, why don't you get a minivan and fucking put all your shit in the back of the minivan, and it's enclosed and it rides a lot smoother.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. So yeah, fuck people that shit on minivans. They can go fuck themselves. They've never had to haul any shit for any extended distance. So
yeah, man, that thing worked on the way home, because how many times we stopped for gas? Like 2 or 3 times.
It was twice. I stopped once after I dropped you off. I stopped once in northern Iowa, and then I was good to go, and then I had to fill it up, of course, to bring it back. But like, we stopped for gas twice. Once when we were in Missouri still, and then once the time you had to pee. I was like, we might as well top off. We didn't have to stop, but like we were at half tank.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, might as well top off while we're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, though that thing was like, even with all that shit in the back, like that thing did work.
Yeah.
Wait, did you ride home with Mike B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Or maybe I did. I just forgot it.
Yeah, no. So he rode home with me because it was gonna work out better. He could stay an extra night because the other guys went back the night before, and then I was like, well, I've got an extra seat on the way home.
Right.
And I'm it was like what, a half hour out of the way, didn't matter. And like, so I was like, yeah, where do you live from 35? Okay, bam. I was like, yeah, stay the extra night. Fucking, you've earned it. And then, yeah, we rode home and then went through Missouri, and then he lives like kind of to the north part of Des Moines, and I just dropped him off there, and then I drove back home, and it was all good. But like, yeah, that ride home was like, we were just kind of like so tired and everything. It was like, fuck, what the hell just happened?
I'm surprised it wasn't that hungover. I was surprised.
Yeah. Well, it's because you went to bed early and you were drinking water, as per the guidance of your father figure that night. But like,
I just had to piss, and then you were like, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" And I'm like, "I gotta pee, dude."
No, I didn't say, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" I'm like, "Is it an emergency? Like, do you have to piss now?" And you're like, Yeah.
You're like, do you have to
okay,
throw
fine.
up? And I was like, no, I'm good.
Oh, the night before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. It was.
I think one of the other college students got worse than me, and I think they were just trying to catch up to me, and then they got too far over. And I was like,
was that the
"Can you
blood
not?"
girl?
Yeah. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I was like, my God. Just
Got a
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got a little out of control there towards the end.
Yeah, I was like, go sleep.
No, it was all good. Like, it was fine. But yeah, the drive back was that place we stopped at in where the fuck was that? Like northern Missouri? The whatever.
Was it the small gas station or was it like the big one with like all the markets and stuff?
The one with all the markets and shit was the one we stopped at, like down
it was like
there
Kansas.
Where we were.
Yeah, it was like Kansas City. And
yeah, we stopped like north of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because you had to pee, and I was like, oh, I might as well fill up. But like that place was interesting. Like the people in there. Did you actually look at the people in there? I was like, oh,
it's like
because like there was a chick that was working the counter, right, and she was sitting there talking very loudly to one of her coworkers, and I'm like, backside's not that terrible. She turned around and I was like, oh shit, math. A little bit.
One of those places, okay.
Paper bag.
Yep. Well, no. It's just math. Like you get too close, or you're gonna start getting buzzed. But like, it's not good. And but anyway, that was funny as shit. But like, we were just both so fucking tired. We're just like riding back. We were telling funny jokes, which I won't repeat on here because
don't repeat those.
They get the stream zapped.
Oh man.
But yeah, there was some that you were telling, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I told you some, and it took you a second to process, and you're just like laughing like uncontrollably. Like fucking.
Yeah, I was like, shit, dude, these are horrible.
Oh, it's amazing though. It's fucking great because I've known them for so
awful.
long. Oh yeah, but it's so fucking like the octopus one.
That's my God. And
that's
then
fun.
Society surviving. I was like, oh man.
Well, if society wins, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta chill.
But it's fun. It was.
I know
funny
it's fun. It's just your phones are listening. You know.
Who gives a fuck? Like at this point, I already know I'm fucked. You know. I already know because I've been saying that shit for a lot longer than.
Lane, you should expect that the most offensive stuff you could possibly imagine is going to come from him. You know?
Yeah, and it's funny as shit.
The worst stuff I've ever heard in my life. Come from
him. But you were laughing.
It's like the most vile, like terrible, horrible thing you could ever imagine just slip out of his mouth, and I was just sitting there like.
And you laughed because it was
funny as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny as shit. And then I learned a lot of those things in the military, which is fun. From people who the joke is making fun of the demographic. I heard that from those people, which made it even more funny because like what they said is like, oh fuck, that's amazing. Like I'm gonna use that. They're like, go for it, do it. It's fucking funny. So anyway, that was before the woke shit really took over. But like anyway, the ride home was fun, and so long story short, let's circle back here. Let's circle back really quick. Circle back. No, they did not charge me anything more for the van. So that was a really good outcome for that because holy shit.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, little bunny. Yeah, you keep bouncing around the yard.
There's a rabbit out there?
You start eating my garden. Oh yeah, there's a lot of them. They go underneath the pine trees. Like you know how you have pine trees surrounding me?
Yeah.
They go underneath those. They love the pine trees.
And I saw one when I was out there. I saw.
Yeah. They're out there in the winter. Yeah. And you were out there too. Like it was fun because like that one of the first nights. I think it was the first night you were there. Like it got super windy and shitty and cold, and I was like, "Fuck these boxes that I was about to burn."
That was great. Yeah.
All over. So we had to get them in the garage, and
we went out there running to get the box. They're like flying everywhere.
Oh, they were all because it was like they were just sliding on the top of the snow.
Yeah,
it was like that ice covered. It was just fucking. I was like, really, just give me a break. Just give me one more fucking day, and I'll burn these boxes. And then it was windy, consistently on. But yeah, so you actually get to experience like how shitty and cold it is up here. Like, you know, I've had friends up here that are like, when they come up here, it's like actually really nice, and I'm like, fuck. But you have to experience,
I was loaded down though, you know, with like I had those gloves that Yor gave me and everything, and we were out there shooting guns and shit, and fucking Devin is like complaining about it. I'm like, you're Canadian. What the fuck is the matter with you?
He was also wearing blue jeans, leather boots, and a very light jacket.
Man, he was just shitting on America like the first few days.
He does that
nonstop. I was like, damn, dude, can you chill? Like, I have some pretty not good things to say about Canada, but I keep it to myself.
Yeah, these are ex-military guys, dude. They don't hold anything back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny though. Like, that was funny the last day though, Michael. Like, we're up here shooting, and Devin's like, I gotta fuck. I'm freezing, and I'm like,
and I was like, fucking idiot. Well, then like I'm sitting there shooting guns, and he's talking shit to me while I'm shooting.
Right.
Like, did you want me to turn around and shoot you in the face? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that would have been good. But yeah, you, me and Dave are sitting out there just like fine. You know, we're cold, but we're like still like able to fire. And yeah, it was fun. But like, yeah, it was fun to get some trigger time in. It really was.
Yeah, it was fucking great. That, you know, speaking of trigger time and all that, the Honey Branch, you know, where we made the movie. I remember the owner telling us, "Hey, there are bears around here." I don't know if you guys remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. There are bears around here, so you know you should probably be careful. They're not aggressive or anything, but you know if you're worried about that, there are bears out here. And I just remember thinking, we have so many fucking guns with us all the time. Like,
we're good.
If a bear shows up, it's not going to stand a chance.
Yeah, we've got live rounds like K98s, M1s. The bear's not going to stand a fucking chance.
Yeah, bears. I was more interested in shooting those damn roosters that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. The Myra went down there, and the guy came out, and he said he would shoot them for her if she wanted him to.
Nice.
Yeah, but I think they stopped at that point, so we didn't shoot them.
That's how you get more chickens, though. That's how you get more chickens. So.
Yeah, they caught the hint.
The roosters are fucking terrible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's no, it was I think it was fun to go out to that range that day. Like we had the half day, and even though fucking pissed on us, but like it was fun because like a lot of people got to shoot guns that have never shot guns before, and they're not scared of them anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is what it is. It's fun.
Yeah, you know? Lars, Lars and his daughter, I don't think they said they never ever shot guns ever or something.
Right, and that was the first thing is Lars, as an extra, had to shoot live rounds, and Brian and I went up to him, and Brian mainly said, "All right, so for this scene we have to shoot live rounds. Are you comfortable with that?" And Lars goes, "No." He goes, "All right, well we can just have you fake it, and like we'll show you." He goes, and Lars goes, "But it's for the film, it's for work, so I'll do it. Just tell me what to do." And we were like, "Okay." And then he ended up liking that. And the first rifle Lars ever shoots is a fucking K98 with German surplus ammo.
Yeah, from World War II.
Yeah, from 1936 dated shit. And the first rifle he ever shoots, and then he's like, well, I actually kind of like that. And then went out and shot, guns. And it's funny because Noble too, like he's like, I don't know about guns. As it was starting to come down, as the rain was starting to come down, I'm like, all right, Noble, come up. Let's shoot the M1 carbine. The one that you were carrying, Lane. And he goes, okay. So I told him how to do it really quick. Like, I wish I could spend more time with you on telling you how to do this shit, but like, all right, your form is good, your stance is good. Go ahead and pull the trigger. So he fires. He did a whole magazine out of the M1 carbine, actually hitting shit, which is fun. And then he's like, I'm like, hey, we gotta go to the van. And I'm like, you did great, by the way. I'm like, how was it? He goes, well, that was actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
like, exactly. And so you get to experience Midwest horsecock rain, shooting a firearm. The first firearm that he's ever shot is an M1 carbine, which is pretty cool. And then experiences snow. So it was fun for a lot of people. Like it
was a roller coaster.
Getting the film done, that was one thing. But like these little experiences we got to experience on the side, pretty fucking cool, I think.
Oh yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
And just working with everybody, man. Like it was fun because so Lane, we've talked about this a lot. Like on streams and like just in chats, but like, how did you like the like open kind of like we're all in the same house, like open bay kind of everybody can talk to anybody at any time thing?
When I got back home, it took me about a week to get, settled back in. And I was thinking to myself when I just started getting settled, I was like, damn, this is really different because I spent almost 2 weeks talking to people every day. And now I'm just home with, my family, and I've got friends that are in college. I was like, wow, what a change. But I absolutely loved talking with, all of the like the actors and people from Hollywood. And, Chris and Kevin were very, very, very nice, and I was just like, thank God these guys are so lovable and so nice out of the bat. And it was a very fun experience. Everybody was so nice.
Yeah, there was no asshole on the team at all. Yeah.
Nope. And that's the thing is like the like talking with the actors and shit a lot. It's like they loved it. I loved it too. It was so fun to be able to just like walk out. This is another military thing, like open bay is like you just have 60 guys living together in one giant room. And that's kind of how it was on the set. And like at the house, it was like just hey. And it was cool to like watch people they're sitting down, they're eating food, which is amazing. The food was fucking delicious. I fucking loved that. That was amazing. And it was fun to just watch these guys sit around and they start bouncing ideas off of each other. Bam, bam, bam. Just sitting there naturally talking, and they start doing that. And it was like, they loved that from what I've heard so far. And I loved it because it's like, hey, how you doing? What do you need? Well, I don't need anything right now, but like, I'm doing great. And like, whatever, just anybody can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such an intimate, it's like a hotel where you're like texting people like, hey, we're going to the lobby and talk for a bit or whatever. You're in your own room. It's like, no, everybody was there. And then when it was lights out, I fucked that up one night. I was talking too loud, but like, it was lights out and that was it. And then nobody disturbed anybody if they're asleep or whatever, get up. And then bam, it worked really fucking well. That was like one of the coolest parts of the experience was, we got the footage, we got everything done, and it was beautiful. But it was like when we come back and we're not in the hardcore work part, we're still in a work part, but it's like relaxed to where everybody's just like, because like and same thing like with you and Joe in the back of the van, it wasn't like a super serious work thing. It was just like, hey, let's run through these lines, and like that worked out, and it made it better for you, because you weren't as like nervous and shit. It's like, hey, you're just having a conversation, blah blah blah, and that's how I saw a lot of that shit go on, while we were on set, like in the actual house, the mansion, I should say. The fucking thing was huge, and I loved that setting, and Mike, to be able to like float from upstairs with the crew, and like we were always floating everywhere, but like when you needed some time to just kind of like relax, you came down and you sat in our dungeon, which is fun.
It was awesome.
I don't say dungeon like it's a bad thing. I actually liked that.
Oh, same here. Yeah, I was like, I love that little dungeon back there.
And then we sit there. We got $200,000 worth of guns sitting in this room next to us.
Fucking awesome guns.
Oh yeah, it was just like we just have all these guns sitting there. And it was fun. We'd sit there and talk, and like some of the actors would come in and just sit down and talk, and then we go out there and deal with the kids, which is fun. The younger actors. Yeah, that was actually really fun too, because like they're the younger actors that we had on set, quite a few of them, very smart people, very smart, and very funny. They don't know they're being funny, but like it was like, oh Jesus,
yeah,
and
unironically,
it was cool.
Oh yeah,
right.
I miss it, dude. I wish we were still doing it, honestly, even though it was a fucking pain and everything, and it was like the movie does have to be done, and be finished. It was just like, I just wanted to keep doing it.
Right. I think like back having that set, or I'm sorry, having the house, like with that environment, allowed people to blow off a lot of steam, after they're working, because there's a lot of guys that went through a lot of intensive like mental shit to get where they need to be, and it was like you were allowed to blow off steam and just kind of have fun,
Oh yeah.
And I saw it a lot, and I think that made it so much better. When it's like, okay, blown off steam, blah blah. Okay, let's go to sleep. We'll see you in the morning. And then we get up in the morning. It's out there. It's serious shit. We still had fun on the actual set, but it's like, yeah, it's very serious shit. And like, bam, work. Okay, now the reward is going back, having a great meal, and then just floating around, shooting the shit with whoever. So,
oh yeah. And I was surprised with how well everything was done, especially on like it was like the second to last night, I believe so. When we were watching over the footage for the last time, I was like, because I talked to you and Brian about this, and I was like, I am feeling desensitized to all this stuff because I've seen shit, and working for a funeral home, you see shit, and I was like,
yep,
people are crying and stuff, and I'm over here like, what's going on? What's wrong? And then seeing everything, spill like out at like the last time I watched footage, I was like, oh damn, this is getting me. And then Brian was like, we made the Mortician cry, guys.
Oh jeez.
Well, and also
it's gonna be a great movie.
we don't give anything away on this, but like the last day that we filmed, or I think it might have been the second. I think it was the last day actually. When there was the last scene with one of the actors, and you lost your shit on set, and I was like, okay, finally, like we're good. Everybody's freaking experienced this shit now.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
because I've seen that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And
I was like, oh man, I'm getting memories flashing back, and I was like, I don't like reliving that. And seeing as somebody like I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm gonna like seeing as somebody that I've grown fond of and gives me advice. I'm like, oh damn, what's this gonna be like when it's like real life? Like when it's actually somebody I know personally.
Yep.
It's like
I felt so bad that I had to put it through that stuff. That I felt guilty because it was me. It was my project, and I'm the one directing it. I'm like, okay, dude, you have to endure hell for 12 hours we were shooting the day, and it was like he said, okay, I'm gonna put myself in that world, and like you saw it the whole time, even like on break, he was suffering. And it was tough.
I mean, he went on walks with Jorg, and he was just yelling and screaming, and I was like, I feel it, man, I get it.
And that's the thing too, is one of the actors we had on here about a month ago now at this point, who I thought was just kind of this, into his role so much where he wouldn't react to anything. On the scenes that got you, it got him too.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck. Before the scene, he was like crying, and he's like, okay, pulled his shit together, did the scene, and then afterward he was just like, fuck. And then, went out again. It's like, yeah, okay. That's good, because like, again, everybody's affected. And that was the thing, is like, there's a lot of emotion on set. It was like very fucking heavy, and people that I wouldn't have expected to have a reaction did. You're one of those people included. And it's like, well, then we got it, like, so.
Oh yeah.
But
it's just, people will, I got to spend 12 days with them. I got to spend 12 days with everybody, right? And I think the people that will watch this movie, even though it's not like something that you would think, they will grow fond of the person that they are watching, and they will be able to feel that kind of emotion. It's the same way with every movie. They'll grow fond of him. They'll grow a small attachment, and then when they see what happens, they're just gonna feel emotions that they didn't think they would.
Yep.
It's the same way
exactly. Because there's no hero's journey. There's no like any of that shit. It's just like the real human experience, and like, you start to like connect with these certain characters. There's a lot of them, and you're like, oh wow, either in a positive way or a negative way, and then you're like, oh fuck, well that's not what I expected, for everything. And it was really cool because like I've said on the streams before, and I'll say it again, and Lane, I think Well, I want your opinion on this. I think the actors fucking beyond nailed it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I've seen emotion in acting, but with that, I never expected. I've been in like those school plays, and you don't expect anything extreme. But like when I saw Max's, his methodology, I was like, oh, and he was getting slapped up. I was like, okay, cool, and it was a different experience because I was just blown away by everybody's skills and bringing back what they've been through and how their life has shaped them, and like it reflecting onto the character. Like I've never seen that. I've never seen that, and it was something people very much enjoy. And
they're the real thing, man. Those fucking actors. Yeah, well, I think that that was something that some of the local crew weren't expecting, with how into it and like good these guys are,
Oh yeah.
There was the part where we were getting ready for something, and the scene, and it was in the cave, and Kevin Sinek is sitting down on the ground before we're getting ready to do the take, and he starts just sobbing, like for real, and he's just like, it's real. And some of the makeup people, they were like, what's going on? I'm like, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, it's part of the process.
He's good.
Yeah, but it's real. It's real. Yeah. Those emotions and stuff. It's real.
Oh, yeah.
So it's insane to see in person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really really insane. Because everybody brought their own flavor, like Lane said. Like they brought their own flavor, but they were still like somebody else. And it was like, that's fucking interesting, man. Fucking interesting, man. Fucking interesting. Like,
it's funny. One guy who really shined on camera. I mean, everyone shined, of course, but one guy who really shined on camera, but like it seemed effortless for him. He didn't really do a lot of prep that I could tell was Yoni.
Oh yeah.
It was just like because Maxwell and stuff. Their whole thing was that they get into it. They have to get into this big process. Everyone works differently. But it was just like, I said, hey, okay, Yoni, this is what has to happen. They'd be like, okay. And that's it. You just sit there and wait.
And then all of a sudden the scene starts and it's like, he's totally different. So it's like, that's very interesting too. Yeah. It's, as young as he is, like, he doesn't have a prep process getting into it, but he fucking nailed it. And same thing with Remy. Like, Remy is also very young. And we were like doing a scene and I'm like, okay, do your thing. And blah, blah, blah. And then he's like kind of nervous before he does it. And then all of a sudden he gets into it and he's just like flawless. It's just fucking exactly like, it's just perfect. And I'm like, that's impressive. And the guys that, again, like you said, it's not taken away from anybody else. The actors, it's just their methods. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? Like some guys took some warming up and they do their thing and it's fine. Best performance ever. And it's insane. Yeah, it was just really weird to see, like, because everybody's a human, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have their own idiosyncrasies and the way they do things. But it was weird seeing each person's or each actor's prep in that. And then it was just fucking insane because everybody fucking destroyed it on camera. And it's cool too, like, I think so a lot of things is like a lot of the actors that come up after the scene be like, do we was that okay? Like, did we get that? And I'm like, yeah, we got it. Like, you did great. Like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't tell you really if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got it. And they're like, yeah, I just think I could have done this better. I'm like, I don't agree with that. Like, I think it was just the way you did it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. And then, obviously there were some times where we had to correct like little things like this thing with the triggers, the index of your finger.
Yep.
But here's the thing is like, that's a good habit to have. And I was trying to get them to break a good habit. And so was Brian. But like, that was one of the worst things. The rest of them was just, yeah, the acting was fine. The body language was fine. The dialogue was fine. Like, we're good. Like, keep going with that.
Oh yeah.
And minor things we had to correct, but like these actors were so fucking good. But I say that on every stream, but like I still can't believe it. So
I mean, we're gonna do it again.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the thing is, yeah, we're gonna do it again, and we'll use a lot of the people that we've had to do it because it's just very easy to, and they're also very easy to work with. Like Lane, like you were crew most of the time, but like, did you ever have any bad interactions with any of the actors?
No, I just had good ones, and I remember specifically I was just talking with Yoni. I think I was just doing close-ups with him at one point in the cave, and it was just and he was like, just so you know, I feel safe around you. I like your presence. And I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that's just the way I think everybody basically on set was. It was just like everybody trusted each other, and that's why we got some really good things that happened. And also it was like, sound doesn't always go well, video doesn't always go well, blah, blah, blah. But like we worked through that, and it was like I didn't hear people screaming at each other. That's the big thing. It's like nobody was screaming. It was like, hey, we got to get this done. Yeah, I know. All right, I'm on it. Yep. Bam. Okay. That's it.
Yeah. Small confrontations,
Yep,
oh yeah.
Small. Yep.
Small,
there was maybe one small confrontation between Mike B and Brian regarding the way Kevin should wear his Zelt bond.
That wasn't a scream match. It was it was between all three of us. It was me, Brian, and Sam were down at the pavilion, and Brian's like, yeah, he shouldn't have his gear over that. I said, okay, I get where you're coming from. He's like, it's a poncho. I go, yeah, it is, but also the guys wore that as a piece of personal camouflage. And he's like, yeah, well, it's a poncho. It should be worn over the gear. And I'm like, okay. And then Sam was like, well, I've seen it worn with the gear over that before. I'm like, yeah, me too. I can give you a bunch of pictures. Like, not right now, obviously. I don't have my computer, but like, just trust me on this. Like, it's okay. He's like, yeah, but it's whatever. And we had this agreement. And then Sam was like, yeah, I've seen it too multiple times being worn under the gear. And Brian's like, okay. Like, he's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, he just goes, it's just a poncho. And it was like, okay, that was the extent of that. It was just a talking. We were just talking back and forth and explaining our points. And by the way, when we did get back, I did send Brian a shitload of pictures of guys wearing their Zelts underneath their gear.
That's how I've always seen them worn.
Well, he's right too. Like half the time he's right. Like where they're just wearing it over their gear. But I said, here's where we base that off of. And I sent him like Italy, Eastern Front, Normandy, all that shit, all these different fronts where they're wearing their Zelt as a piece of camouflage underneath their gear. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, but here's the thing is Brian wasn't a cunt. He didn't make a big deal out of it. Right. He was just like, okay, I don't agree with it, but like, it is what it is. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then there were some other things that we just disagreed on as nerds. It never came to anywhere near raising their voice. It was just like, well, is this right? And I'm like, I don't know. And Sam's like, well, I think of this. So him and Brian kind of discussed it. And I'm like, I don't know. What do we do? And they both said, all right, right now we have this situation, so we have to get it solved. And then bam, it was a decision. And then we just did it.
That's what's great about the nerd shit, though, is that you guys are not like competing in egos or anything.
Well, no, that's the thing. We just want to get it right, and it's like what is right, and yeah, it worked out fantastic. Like, and then we'd have a conversation about it, in the dungeon after the day was shot. But like, it was like fine. Nobody's competing. It's not a bigger dick contest, and that's the big thing. Mm-hmm. It's like oh, I was right about this.
Right.
Who gives a fuck? Like who gives a fuck?
Who cares who figured it out? As long as it's right, that's all we need.
Yeah, right. And so that's the thing is like it. That's how most of the cast and crew worked. Is like, because I know. Like the crew had a bunch of things that just didn't go right, and we were trying to pivot and like doing all this shit, and it worked out. It was like, okay, this has to get done. Okay, who's gonna do it? I am. Okay, fine, get it done. And then the cast like, oh shit, and like that one day, for example, like that one day, I think it was the second day, that I personally forgot Chris's pouches, his MP40 pouches.
Yep.
And I was like, and I'm like, my fucking van is up on the top of the hill. I'm like, which is gonna be faster? I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the sprint.
Alas.
And yeah, because Lane was there too, and I came back and I was pretty fucking breathing heavy, but like,
yeah,
I was wearing boots and like I had to sprint down a quarter mile through nasty terrain, and then sprint back up. But I got him the fucking pouches, and I'm just like, hey. Because I had to make a decision really quick in my head of like, can I send somebody to get it? Can I go up to my van and get down there and get back up, faster? Or no, I have to just fucking suck it up. And so I did that, and then it got done. It was fine. And that was it. It was like, it's done, right? Nobody's bitching because it was whatever. Something got fucked up, but it got corrected right away. And then Brian and Sam were up there to, do everything that I couldn't do being away, like I trusted them and everything worked out. It was fine. But it's like, that's an example of like, do we panic? Do we make a huge fucking deal out of it? Or somebody just takes action and does it? And usually most of the time on set, people just took action. And it's like, okay, that has to get done. Fine.
Oh yeah.
Get it done.
Everyone,
done.
You got I mean, yeah, there was many times where there was so many times where I would call you or, Brian or Sam over. We need a little something here, or something like that. We need some Sam dirt over here,
Yeah, exactly.
Or and then like with the dead bodies and such, like in the cave, like, hey Lane, can you get over here and see if this is okay?
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing is like everybody worked very well together, and it was very pleasant. It was a lot of work, holy fuck, but like it paid off. So.
Yeah, were you there, Lane, when Kevin Sinek when he tried to like stretch and he split his fucking pants completely?
There's so many pants problems with that guy. Oh my god! Like, well, that's dude.
It's unfortunate, but it's also one of those things to where it's like, well, that's realistic because we had those pants made, especially how they would have been made at the time, which were not good. They were very kind of makeshift pants, so it was like that's going to happen, but he has to wear these fucking things for 10 or 12 days or something. But yeah, apparently he like when he first did it, he like squat down and the thing just went like completely open. So it's pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus. All right, lads. I'm about ready to call her for the night.
Yeah. Was it midnight over there for you?
Yeah.
Looks like it. Jesus, you're in darkness.
Yeah, it's still technically kind of light out, but like I like my dungeon here.
Oh, I know. Yeah. You should see it, Lane. There's probably 17 million guns inside that 10-foot square room.
That's an overestimate. There's like 15 million guns.
Okay. It's the most guns I've ever seen in one room.
It's fun. I ran out of room on my wall, so it's like
Have you ever been doing this and all of a sudden your entire shelf of helmets behind you just collapses and the
helmets? No, those shelves are built like a brick shit out. Like the shelves are fine.
Okay, good.
Those are the shelves I had in my retail store at one point. It's fucking like 1-inch metal 1-inch metal pipe, steel pipe.
All right, so I could hit that with a baseball bat and it wouldn't go.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You could. I've literally hanged off of this thing. And it doesn't move because they're in the studs, like they're screwed in. Yeah, good luck.
Well, that's the ultimate test. So
now the thing that you saw was when I first moved into this place in 2019, I had most of my guns stacked up on the wall.
Gun dominoes?
Yep. And I moved my foot and the floor shifted just slightly and then they all fell.
Which is the worst sound you can ever possibly hear. The crash of 15 million guns hitting the ground. But all right, good. Because I was when you were gone, I was wondering that about the shelf. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and do your outro.
Yep. No, I was just thanks everybody for watching. If you guys are watching this at a later point, comment with Lane, Lane, at the end. A little buddy here. There's a little ceiling fan going.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Got any questions, of course, throw them in the comments. We'll try to answer them. So, we'll see you later.
I think I'm still alive. I think Mike hit the wrong thing.